welcome everyone to Nerd TV. It is a great evening here at the Nashville Superspeedway, virtually coming from you from the iRacing platform. And right now, this practice is looking awesome. You see the weather on your screen, 80 degrees, 43% humidity, partly cloudy, and just a small gust of wind of 9 miles an hour coming at you here tonight as I think we're going to transition into nighttime potentially here as the sun is starting to creep down. Currently 6:55 server time, so by the time this race is over, it'll be in 8 o'clock range, and the sun will be down, lights will be on. So just like the real world stuff, you're going to see a lot of cars change from being good to bad or bad to good, depending on how they got this thing set up. I am back. My name is Jeremy Stanley. Jason Rockefeller to my right did an excellent job covering for me this past Wednesday. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, man. You missed out on a really, really hectic Martin Sports Truck Series race. Just Wednesday night, Cody McKinney, Bobby Terrell, it was all about them. But in the end, only one prevailed, and that ended up being Cody McKinney. Bobby Terrell, a lot of guys who were up there in the mix, top 5, top 10. Me and Dustin called that race. We had a blast calling that race. It had pretty much everything you could want. It had strategy. It had late race yellows. It had good, hard racing, which is kind of funny because the first year that this track really came back, whether it be in the real life or iRacing, it's kind of like this track didn't really perform. A lot of guys were like, oh, this track plows, it's one groove. But as of recent, the last 2 years now that we've basically seen this track come into play, be on the NASCAR schedule or on iRacing, it's kind of, widened out. These new next-gen cars here on iRacing and real life as well provide a lot more downforce. You're able to race a little bit more side-by-side. And Wednesday, we saw a lot of guys slipping and sliding. But the one thing about Wednesday night was that they were in the dark of the night. And here we are. We're going to be starting as the sun's going down. Right now, track temp's about 84 degrees, Jeremy. That track temp's going to lower continuously throughout the night because the track temp's going to get cooler, and so is the air temp as the sun goes down and the lights come on.
Man, I tell you, if it was anything like the race yesterday early on that initial start, I think it was a restart even, where they went 3 wide with Martin Truex, the number 1 of Ross Chastain, and I forget who was in the middle. Either way, they got 3 wide for 3 straight laps. If we get something like that tonight, that'd be awesome to see. But also, I want to recognize my far right-hand camera on your screen is our producer tonight. Not going to be in the booth talking to us mid-race, but he's there doing all the work behind the scenes, Mr. Dustin Logston. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Glad to have you back in the booth. It's not that I didn't enjoy my time with Jason, though. We definitely had a blast calling the Martin Sports Truck Series. It was awesome. But glad that you got your computer stuff situated and all fixed back up. And we got the dream team back together again tonight. And like I said, if it's anything like the actual Cup race, we're in for a hell of a show.
Yeah, no kidding. I had a power surge issue, and it took out my power supply out of my computer and my power strip that I had. So could not get it plugged in time. My pit crew is not fast enough to get that installed and ready to go. So I'm going to work on that. But hopefully I don't got that issue for another while. But we got a minute and a half left in practice here. We're going to watch these guys just kind of tick things down. Mark Brannigan Jr. coming on strong. 2 weeks ago there at Sonoma. Eastern Stars Motorsports really just bringing it. Connor LaFrance, Austin Gassillon, and Mark Brannigan themselves running that team. And right now, all 3 of those guys in the top 10 and in the point standings, they're sitting 4th, 5th, and 6th. So we got a 3-team battle here between Fury Motorsports, RPM Motorsports, and Eastern Stars Motorsports.
And the thing is, too, is we're approaching the halfway point pretty much of Season B. I don't exactly remember how many races we have left. But the thing is, remember just a few weeks ago at Gateway, RPM and all those guys, they said, we're building fast cars. We're taking time in the sim. We're trying to put more time into it to be better this season. Last year, they were up at the front, but now here they are from Season A to Season B. They are almost right there with the Fury Motorsport guys, Tony Solari, Richie Coy, and all those other guys, Brody Hanna. I know Brody hasn't really had the best start to Season B, both in the trucks and the Cup Series. Hopefully that will change. I know he was on vacation recently. But Fury Motorsports and RPM, they've been doing really good these last 2 to 3 races. And now all of a sudden, Eastern Star Motorsports is really starting to play. Jeremy, we were just talking right before the broadcast. I mean, right now in the point standings, they hold 4th, 5th, and 6th. And they are all closing in right now on those guys in front of them on those top 3 positions in the point standings. So don't count out Eastern Star Motorsports, and surely enough, don't count out Mark Brannigan Jr. because he's fast here tonight compared to what your internet was here last week. I think Mark's going to be really fast here tonight, and I think he could possibly go for 2 in a row.
Man, FPL zapped my stuff with that lightning storm that came through, just obliterated the PC. You're not wrong there, but it is our time, though, to get our faces off your guys' screen. We're going to focus in on your practice winner, Mr. Mark Brannigan Jr., 88, see what he can do in this qualifying session. And just to touch up there, Jason, on the points there, you got top 6, all within less than 40 points coming into race number 4 of Schedule 13. And we're just kind of actually sitting on this roof cam right now. I don't know if he's going to pull out any second here or not, but I'm sure he's going to be posting a really good qualifying time as some of these other guys are starting to take some time. Jeff Chandler, one of them here. You talked about how they put all this practice time, Jason, into these things. This guy struck me when he said he put 700 laps in at Charlotte, and no wonder he came out victorious on that one. That's just a blistering number to say 700 laps just to practice for a race for the week. So let's see what he's got here as he goes through his opening lap.
We'll also remember, too, Jeremy, back at Gateway, he got involved with some lap traffic while battling for position, making his way up towards the front. And had it not been for that, Jeff probably could have ended up beating Richie Coy. Richie ended up dominating that night, I believe it was. A lot of guys struggled, but I think Jeff, he's probably going to get another win here soon here in Season B. We'll just have to see when. It could very well come here tonight. And he was one of those guys, from RPM to say, we're doing all this, we're doing all that, and here they are. They're showing up. They're being in business. Right now, we're looking at Mark Brannigan Jr., the fastest man in practice, and he's coming to the line to, I believe, take the green flag, if I'm not mistaken. And he is taking the green flag right now. So you're going to see him going to 1. That low line is really the preferred line, obviously, to be on. But, the track's going to widen out here probably as the night progresses. We have a lot of laps to run here tonight. This is kind of like a mile and a half. I talked about it with Dustin on Wednesday night. This is like probably if a mile and a half had a baby with Dover. And remember that this track was owned by Dover Motorsports before Dover was bought out by SMI. So this is basically just the bigger version of Dover with a tri-oval. And Mark Brannigan Jr. still really, really fast. Not as fast as that RPM guy, Jeff Chandler, though, right now. Mark sits second on the board right now. But everybody is going to be driving this track really, really differently here tonight from a driver's standpoint.
Watch this lap 2 here. Jeff Chandler posts his fastest time on lap 2. Let's see if Mark Brannigan Jr. can do the same thing coming through turn 4. Crosses the line. Improves again. First guy to hit the 0.5 here in qualifying. I think 5 guys did it in practice the first time. We see it in qualifying. Mark Brannigan Jr., 88, jumps to the top of the charts. And I'm also going to jump to the chats because we got some early activity over there, starting with Facebook. Head Nerd in Charge, Mrs. Brandy Logston saying hi. And I think she was commenting when she said I shouldn't buy something from Walmart. You're probably right when it comes to technology. Got to do what you got to do to get replacements. But I agree with you. And then Stephen Loomis saying good luck, Lane Allen from Grass Valley, California. Go Blackwater. And then DK Humpty Harp says, have fun, y'all. We definitely will. It's going to be a fun time. I'm glad to be back after a week break. I had an extended one. Thanks, FPL. And then Doyle Lawrence on the YouTube chat saying, hello, nerds. Go RPM. Jeff, TJ, and Troy. Get her done. You see the 14 here. Stephen Allen crossing the line. See what kind of time he can post here in the 14 machine. Doesn't really jump up too far on the chart. Sitting right now, P24, 30.382. And we got all but 5 guys that have taken time so far.
I tell you what, too, this is going to be maybe a competitive race when it comes to the short runs. It's going to be hard to pass here tonight, Jeremy. Looking at the leaderboards right now, the whole top 26 that have qualified as of right now for the 26 drivers who have taken it from all the way from Mark Brannigan Jr. with a 29.588 on the pole right now, all the way back to Robert Malikian there in the 22 car, 30.503. So this field is separated by less than a second here. So about 9/10 of a second. It's going to be an interesting race. I mean, this track could provide a very surprising winner here tonight. I mean, look at Brandon Elder right there in the 51 machine. We've seen him, how good he's been recently. He's sitting third up on the board right now. Connor LaFrance, a rookie, he's sitting fourth. He's one of those guys from Eastern Stars Motorsports. And I tell you what, Jeremy, those Eastern Stars Motorsports guys are going to be really fast tonight because not only is Mark going to start on the pole, he's going to have his teammates Connor in fourth and Austin Gassione in ninth. So they're all going to be starting inside the top 10. They did a lot better than RPM and also Fury Motorsports here tonight. So I expect the Eastern Stars Motorsports guys to be very, very fast tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited too. You mentioned Brandon Eldon at 51, B Custom Racing, lone driver for that team, and I've seen him continuously get better in these qualifying sessions. He just needs to string together a nice solid run tonight, and I think he'll be a good top 10 contender for sure. He just had some bad luck through this season, but hopefully we can get it turned around here tonight at Nashville. Guys are sitting on the grid. We're going to go ahead over the starting order for tonight's lineup of the Nashville 250. Running 188 laps here tonight. Mark Brannigan Jr. is going to take it P1. Jeff Chandler is going to start in second. Brandon Elder in third. Connor LaFrance in fourth. Jamie Knopf, I'm going to butcher that one. Hopefully I can get someone in the chat to correct me on that. Newcomer is going to be starting in fifth. Kyle Milliken, sixth. Richie Coy in seventh. Daniel Simmons, another new name that I've now noticed, is going to be in eighth. Austin Gassione in ninth. TJ Bartell rounds out tonight's top 10. Who you got 11 through 20 down there?
Through 11th through 20th, all the way back to 20th. Stephen Hollingsworth starts 11th in the number 25 machine. Chris Beck starts 12th in the 44. Brody Hanna, Fury Motorsports, starts 13th tonight. Louis Meglin in the 43. He'll start 14th. Sherwood Williford always has a very, very nice scheme. He'll start 15th. Ryan Hedrick starts 16th tonight. Chad Lang in the number 4. He will start 17th. Fury Motorsports, Tony Solari will start 18th there. He came home third in Wednesday night's truck race. And then you have Ryan Chapman starting 19th, and Colton Gum rounds out your top 20.
I got Josh. All right, I think Colton Gunn's actually starting 21st, at least on my end anyways. Joshua Johnson 22nd, Troy Torgerson 23rd, Lane Allen 24th, 25th, Robert Tracy 26th, Robert Malikian 27th on back to not post qualifying time, so they will start virtue of their I rating being from best to worst. James Wallace 27th, Wayne Grossi 28th, Brian Dublé 29th, Michael Blackner 30th, and Alan Crowell takes home last on the starting lineup for 31 cars here at the National 250. Apologize in advance, my throat is not clear. You might hear me some 15-year-old voice breakups here, but we're going to get this done regardless. We have two drivers on cam tonight here, presented by iRock 93.5, and that's going to be Ryan Chapman, who's got the lower quadrant of that screen, and then the upper half there is going to be Richie Coy from Fury Motorsports joining us tonight from his cell phone camera, looking real crispy at the same time. But green flag is out. We're going to get this 188-lap race underway. Mark Brannigan, Jeff Chandler, dead heat side by side going to turn number 1. And if it's just like last night in the real stuff, this outside might have a chance.
Yeah, and Jeff Chandler's got a really big run right now, but he gets up into the marbles just a little bit. That's going to open up the door for Connor LaFrance inside side drafting down the back straightaway into turn number 3. That's going to allow Mark Brannigan Jr. to get about a 2 to 3 car length advantage over those guys as they head out of turn 4. But look at the run that Connor LaFrance has on his teammate right now. Had a big run off turn number 4, kind of got stalled out a little bit, but everybody's single file, double wide right now, further on back. As you see, one car slides up the racetrack. That's the one of Brandon Elder. He'll get put 3 wide in the middle, and everybody scrambles for position down the back straightaway.
Brandon Elder's car does not look comfortable here. He is sliding all over the place, pushing hard in the corners. We got 3 wide. Oh, Kyle Milliken touches the 0 or 96 there. Just a moment off the turn 3 and 4. They look like they keep it straight, but it's going to cost him several positions. That's actually the 86. I apologize there. As they come to turn 1 now, still running 2, 3 wide here on your screen. The 30, 25, and the 42. Kyle Milliken does have it regrouped. He's got to get those spots back. as they go 2 wide. TJ Bartel on the 30 does clear the 3 wide, and almost contact here going down the back straightaway between Stephen Hollingsworth and Kyle Milliken.
Everybody's just really jockeying for positions right now. Nobody has really settled into a single file line that you're really normally used to seeing here from the virtual Nashville Superspeedway. Connor LaFrance just last time around, 29.711, fastest lap of this race that's been having 4 laps being put on the board already. He is slowly but surely catching his teammate right there, almost on the back bumper. He closes from 2 down to 1 car length now as they work their way out of 4 this time.
Race is starting to tame down a little bit here, focusing on the 88 of Mark Brannigan. He's got Connor LaFrance, his teammate, all over his back bumper here. A lot of pressure between these two teammates here early on lap 5. Stage break will happen at lap 50, and then we'll complete the rest of the 120 some laps after that for stage 2. But the 16, the 88, these guys are teammates. They're doing excellent right now. Austin Gassion, their third teammate there in Eastern Stars Motorsports, up 4 positions inside the top 5. Excellent running so far early on in this race for these guys.
Yeah, these guys, like I said, right when we were gritting and rolling off pit road, Jeremy, that the Eastern Stars Motorsport guys were going to be a force to reckon with. And here they are, 1, 2, 4 right now, all inside the top 5. And right in front of them, look at Jamie Knopp right now. I believe that's how you pronounce his name, is Jamie Knopp. I think the K is silent. Maybe if he finishes up on the podium, we'll get to see. But for now, Jamie Knopp right now, +2 from where he started. And for being a guy we've never seen right now, he is holding his ground. And if those 2 guys up in front of him get side by side, he surely enough is going to be able to catch those guys due to them being in dirty air, being side by side. And clean air is everything you want here. So if Mark Brannigan Jr. doesn't want to battle with his teammate, he's got to take advantage of that clean air right now. But Connor LaFrance is right on his back bumper still right now, though. But Jamie Knopp, Austin Gassion, and then Jeff Chandler over from RPM, they're all just trying to run down the 2 leaders right now as they work on to lap 8.
Yeah, Doyle Lawrence here in the YouTube chat's actually saying that he thinks the RPM guys are on that long run setup, save the tires. And that's usually what you see out of this camp here. So would not surprise me here on about lap 20, lap 30, them start to rail off some positions to get themselves into the top 5 and even the top 3 podium positions right now. Because right now, none of them are there. First person is in top 5, Jeff Chandler. And you have to drop all the way back to 12th to find TJ Bartel. So it's a little bit of work for these guys to do. But this track, like you said earlier, does get racy. You'll see that middle groove kind of kick in. It's kind of weird how these corners are set up. They look like they're just nice and consistent, but when you got a corner exit here, it really kind of widens out. So if you're a car that pushes on entry or like to drive up the middle of the track early, you can actually use the corner's lack of curve. Like it straightens out a lot. So on corner exit, do that and get away with it. You see, the 30 Bartel, the 4 Chad Lang, really? Here we got some contact. The 39, one of their RPM guys, Chad Lang in the 4 is going to bring out the first Roasted Gems caution here this evening as we have 3 total cars, I believe, in contact here on lap 10.
Man, Jeremy, you were given the description right there, and I saw that 4 get really out of shape, hit the apron, came back up the racetrack, went almost virtually all the way to the wall. And then that Hot Wheels number 4 Chevy Camaro started coming down the racetrack, got right in front of one of the RPM drivers. I believe that was Troy Torgerson. I think Ryan Hedrick might have been involved as well. Yeah, you see right there. I believe that's the 43 machine. That is a throwback to Ken Block's number 43. I'm trying to see who that is. But, man, that was a hard hit right there. That was Lewis Meglin right there in the 43. Everybody did a nice job, though, of being able to save it right there, going off turn number 4. But if we can take one more look at the replay right there just to see again what happened from maybe another angle. You see the 4, he got out of shape big time, heading into 3, hit the apron, and then we're going to hear rewind it back. You see right here, entering the corner, you see the 30 right there. That's TJ Bartel running the bumper. Chris Beck gives him a little shot. That just starts a chain effect right there. 4 gets loose, up the racetrack, into the marble, slows it down big time, comes down, and unfortunately, just an innocent bystander right there. Troy Torgerson coming up the track. Chad Lang trying to go down to the bottom. You see Josh Johnson. He's also involved. Colton Gum got a piece of that on the right front quarter panel.
27, you got to get
Man, oh man. really, really early to be doing a little bit of racing like that. Look at that right through the middle. I believe that's Brody Hanna possibly, or the 27 machine.
Yeah, I saw the 57 Joshua Johnson, the 10 of Colton Gum, the 27 Ryan Chapman actually was that driver. Right there is
Wow.
your, I think that's who I'm on board with. He barely made any contact with Chad Lang's right rear quarter panel as he was kind of driving by. Just almost got away unscathed, but just slight damage to that right rear. I don't think it's going to affect him one bit as you're on roof camera of Ryan Chapman. Going slow motion here from Mr. Loxton, squeezing the gap 3 wide and just, yeah, man. You can't really see the contact there, but you saw how close that was from the very beginning. Um, Great heads up there to lock up the tires early, try to avoid that wreck. I mean, just a scratch on the right rear. I think he's going to be A-okay.
Yeah, maybe if we get a chance, we could take a look from the drone shot on his end. But oh my goodness, talk about threading the needle, quite possibly literally there. That was really, really interesting. I mean, Ryan Chapman should not have escaped that, but he did. I guess you could say, though, Jeremy, he needs a little bit of luck. He's had a little bit of bad luck on his side. We saw how much that team struggled back at Gateway. He basically called it quits about 3/4 into the race, and he was like, I'm done. And then he had a solid run going for him at Iowa in the truck series. He got wrecked on the last lap. Heated conversations afterwards in the Discord channel from FTSR. And here he is, finally caught a lucky break right there. Ryan Chapman, maybe he can come in the top 10 here tonight. Currently sitting 16th up on the board, +4. So that's one for Ryan Chapman. We'll see if he can get through any other incidents if he does just so happen to be near any later on in this race.
I actually missed that contact with 44 initially. I think that's what you reacted to as they were going through turn 3. I didn't see why he got pushed up so high, the 30 car, that is. But then, yeah, just kind of a chain reaction. But, I mean, this track is a smaller track, and, you know, there's not too much room in comparison when you run smaller tracks with a faster speed. So we'll have to see how this restart plays out. People know what the short run looks like, and now we kind of shorten this run up a little bit more, as we're going to go from lap 14 to lap 50 potentially without another caution. We'll find out here. Pace car is down. Mark Brannigan Jr. has led every single lap of these 13 so far. Coming to the green flag this time, his teammate Connor LaFrance going to restart on his outside, and the 16 of Connor actually gets a great start over his teammate. LaFrance is going to lead these guys into turn 1.
Yeah, we saw last time at the start of this race, Jeff Chandler got up into the marbles. This is not going to be the case for Connor LaFrance. He's going to be side by side with his teammate who won last week. And in fact, he's going to get the advantage here halfway down the back straightaway. Now entering turn number 3. This is going to open up the door for Jamie Knopp here off turn number 4. Almost some contact there off the corner. Here comes Austin Gassion, another one of those ESM guys just to the inside right now of Jamie Knopp. They're 2 by 2 right now for the race lead. Almost some more contact between Brannigan and LaFrance entering 1, but this time Brannigan's going to try. Oh, he gets up the racetrack, nearly had calamity there off the corner, tried to clear himself, got a little bit loose off the bumper of LaFrance there, exiting turn number 2, but they are still side by side, shades of yesterday's cup race between the 1, the 11, and the 19.
Jason, you would have no idea. These guys are teammates, side by side. The 99 led the 84 that time on the front stretch. They're 2 by 2 now, still for the race lead. Now, ESM, Eastern Stars Motorsports, look at them. 1, 2, and 3, as Richie Coy has now put himself into the picture here in that Advanced Auto Parts Ford Mustang. He's going to try to take over Jamie Knopp to try to get that 4th place. But these guys, since the drop of the green flag 4 weeks ago to start off Season B, have just been continuously getting better and better, like these RPM guys did last season in 2023A. I'm just really surprised in how well these guys are doing early on here, because Full Throttle Sim Racing, they have a bunch of competitors that are really fast, really tough to beat. And so to see these guys 1, 2, 3 early on here, 4 races into their season at FTSR, I'm thoroughly impressed right now.
I think too, Jeremy, after Season A, you know, both for the trucks and also the Cup Series, everybody really had an evaluation. You know, they had that week, 2 weeks off, whatever it was, and they really looked and said, all right, what are we going to do here for these next few races when we do start up Season B, not only for the Season B championship, but also for the overall and for the playoffs? How do we catch Fury Motorsports and you see ESM and also Fury, they've made big gains to try to catch those guys over at Fury Motorsports. Tony Solari, Richie Coy, Brody Hanna. And I mean, you could just see right now, I mean, look at ESM. They're dominating right now. 1, 2, 3. You have Jamie Knopp there currently sitting in 4th. Great run for him earlier on for a new guy. And then Richie Coy, the guy we always know is probably the dominator here in the FTSR from Fury Motorsports. And he's also got Brandon Elder right back behind him as we look from an onboard shot inside of his virtual cockpit from his home, and also the roof cam. So everybody has really made a big, I'm going to say that again, big step forward to try to being equal with Fury Motorsports here in Season Big.
Yeah, I'm glad to see we got a second driver providing our camera angle here. Richie Coy, appreciate you for doing that alongside Ryan Chapman. I guess if your name starts with R, you got a camera ready. As now we're on board here with Ryan Chapman while watching Richie. As we're going to do a camera swap here. There we go. Ryan Chapman wearing the blue gloves, the blue shirt, in his black, white, and green car here, going through the front stretch. Ryan Chapman a little bit further back in the field in 13th, currently trying to pass the 57 of Joshua Johnson in turn 1, but just cannot do it. A little tight there on corner inches. Ooh, on the side screen on my end, I watched the 51 of Brandon Elder, currently sitting in 6th, get really loose off of turn 2, gathers it up, but the 51, those first opening laps are just all over the place, and it looks like he temporarily has his car settled down, running just outside the top 5. And if he, like I said earlier, if he can just string out some good laps and get a good consistent run all night long, this guy's gonna have a good chance to be, someone inside the top 5 tonight.
Side note here, look at this. Oh no, I think Connor LaFrance just scraped the wall there off turn number 2. Was about to give out a point here about these guys running single file and how close they are. I think maybe if we can get a replay, I don't know if Connor LaFrance just hit the wall there off turn number 2. We're going to rewind it back here like a VHS tape. He got really high off turn number 2, and he might have kissed the wall right here off turn number 2. Oh my goodness, he did not even hit that thing. Oh, we got to take another look at that. That's got to be one of the best saves of the year right there, because you see the 16, he is pretty much losing it, pretty much like Bubba Wallace and also Corey LaJoy and also Daniel Suarez did this past weekend in practice and qualifying. We're taking a look right here. Look at this. Not even close. You could put a finger out there. Oh, he might have kissed it, but it was awfully close right there. But back to the point that I was going to make, I mean, everybody right now is single file, and nobody is letting Mark Brannigan get away. Me and Dustin saw on Wednesday, we saw these guys get really strung out. Tire wear became a big factor. Also setups, the way that the cars handled medium, short, long run speed. But here we are, everybody is bundled up, and nobody's letting Mark Brannigan Jr. get away from this. LaFrance is still about 2 to 3/10 of a second back. So as this sun goes down, Jeremy, do you think we're going to see any of these guys really start to stretch their gaps between any of the other drivers? Because right now everybody's pretty equal.
Yeah, a lot of guys are pretty equal, and the times aren't really, falling off compared to what we've seen in previous this season. Really, the top 20 are all within basically 5 to 6 seconds of each other, and you're seeing it. Cars are full on your screen. We're 13 laps into this race run here, and they're all bundled up. So we do have that break at lap 50. So we'll see that happen in 25 laps. We'll see the caution fly for that, which, my playbook at Sonoma was not correct. So I am correct on this one, as nice the website is anyways. But that being said, these guys are going the short run here. We've seen this now through 2023 complete, where we've gotten used to these guys just going hammer down, trying to see what the short run can do, how much they can push these cars, because that long run setup is really going to apply when you get to stage 2 and you run over 120 plus laps. So I don't think you're going to see as much fall off on this run. You're going to see a lot of guys bundled up, and then you're really going to see that spacing out here when it comes to the nightfall on stage 2.
Yeah, and also we did talk about that too right before they went out for qualifying. Jeremy, this track, it's going to get cooler. I mean, it's still about 84 degrees right now, track temp. About 78 right now on the SDK Gaming Live timing scoring sheet right now. So nothing has really changed. I mean, we are only virtually 28 laps, into this race. But as we get probably to that stage break, and probably once we hit about lap 100, there is going to be some change, both in the air temperature, maybe the wind speed, and also obviously the track temperature. I mean, you're seeing right now there are parts of this track that are more shaded than others right now. You see the front straightaway pretty much, engulfed in shade right now. But then as you work your way into one, there's a little bit of sunlight all the way down the back straightaway. So everybody right now is probably just kind of trying to figure out, what do I got to do? When it comes time for that stage break, how am I going to set up this car for the nighttime? Because virtually everybody probably practiced, thinking to themselves, oh, this is how my car is going to handle maybe when they came out here when the session opened for practice. So they're going to have to make some changes, no doubt about it. And who knows, you may see Mark Brannigan Jr. fall off the pace. You may see Jeff Chandler, like Doyle Lawrence said in the chat, or somebody did, they could be fast with long run speed. You never know. There's a lot of differences here, and that's what makes the day to night transition racing so well. That's why I always thought the Coca-Cola 600 was probably one of the most interesting races of the year on the NASCAR schedule, because you started in, pretty much afternoon-like status with the sun going down, and then you're dead of the night. And that's how it's going to be here tonight. So going to be interesting to see who falls off and who also makes big strides to try to get towards the front of the field.
Yeah, that was Doyle Lawrence in the chat saying that RPM has that long run setup geared. And I think we're already starting to see Mark Brannigan starting to fall off a little bit. Just a handful of laps ago, these top four were all over the back bumper of that 88. But since then, the 99 and 16 just go side by side. That's teammates passing each other. And here's the 19 of Richie Coy with his long run speed. Always here, gets really close this time to Connor LaFrance. Doesn't make any contact there. It's good to go. But since they went side by side, that's allowed Mark Brannigan to jump out to a 5-car length advantage over his teammate Austin Gassion, who seems to have a little bit faster car, especially corner entry. That car can stick the corner entry a little bit more, drive a little bit deeper into the corner, and able to maintain that momentum off corner exit, which is playing dividends for him right now. It's a little tire conservation early is going to pay a long way forward here into this run as we're lap 33. We got caution coming up in 17 laps after they cross the line this time. And these guys, you can't break up this top three here. Eastern Stars Motorsports still just doing it really well right now. Even with the shade, you already talked about it, at 7:36 Eastern time in the server. So that sun is starting to creep down a little bit more and more. And as the track starts to cool off, you might see those dividends happen. Also, want to jump to the chat. Doyle Lawrence keeping it pretty active over here. Said give it 20 more laps or so, and you're going to see some of these front runners starting to fall off. And I believe that'll put us, toward the end of stage run here. And so we might see the 19 get up into the second or even first place. And right behind Richie Coy even, you got a couple other guys, Jamie Knopf and Daniel Simmons, all over the back bumper of the 19. So I think, Doyle, you're already starting to see that transition happen.
Yeah, and really, I've been noticing, too, Austin Gassion has been the fastest guy pretty much out of that top five. And, I mean, in Connor LaFrance, he's fallen off big time. You already see Richie Coy from Fury Motorsports. He's looking at that inside right there on Connor LaFrance entering turn 3. He looks like he's going to easily probably clear Connor here off turn number 4. Maybe not so much. They're still side by side. But right up in front of them, Gassion has caught his buddy and teammate Mark Brannigan Jr. right on the back bumper. You could see right now, though, interesting that nobody is running 5 gears here right now, or at least for Austin Gassion's standpoint. We'll have to see here if he shifts down the back straightaway. Not looking like it, so this is looking to be 4 gears here tonight. But he is all over the bumper of that 2014 Dale Earnhardt Jr. National Guard paint scheme. And you can see Brannigan, he's starting to lose it compared to where he started. Best lap time, 29.7. Last time around, 30.3. So tire fall off starting to be a factor here as we're almost 40 laps in, approaching that stage-ending caution here. So it's going to be a battle. Points are on the line. You talked about, Jeremy, earlier that the top 6 in points separated by no less than 40 points. So every point here matters as this race progresses, and everybody's going to be fighting for every single piece of real estate, especially at the end of this stage.
To bring up the shifting comment that you said, all I have to say to that is good. I don't like it when they shift at oval tracks. It just doesn't make any sense. and it really just, makes it much harder to pass whenever your car is ill handling. You just shift down, and all of a sudden you got a speed boost, and you're good to go. So I like that they're not doing it. I was listening to Alex Bowman's onboard camera that was free, presented by NASCAR yesterday on YouTube, and he was shifting each corner. I think it was even shifting twice at turn 1, if I'm not mistaken, if I heard that right. So I don't like it when they do that. And so seeing a lot of people not doing it, it's awesome. I love to see it. So, but yeah, you're starting to see the 19. He's shifting back. He lost 2 spots there to Daniel Simmons there and Jamie Knopp. So that's going to drop him back to 6th place there. But it's still going to remain Eastern Stars Motorsports. Still 1, 2, 3. But before the stage break ends, I think we're going to drop it over to a quick side-by-side commercial break. We'll be back with you guys shortly. And coming back at you live here on lap 43. We got 7 laps to go at the line as they come. Austin Gassion has taken over the race lead there in the 99. That is your first official lead change this evening, and it's all still by the teammates. There's still 1, 2, 3. Daniel Simmons is coming up a little closer here as he is now on the inside here of Connor LaFrance in the 16, at least momentarily. The 16 gets a decent amount of run off turn 2 to clear the 06, headed into turn 3. But the pressure's on. We see who's got the long run setups now.
Yeah, and Simmons right now, he has been just kind of right on the back bumper at the front door of Connor LaFrance these last few laps, and he's about to look to the inside. He'll look to the top lane, use that middle groove, kind of diamond it back down. You can just see the great run he gets. He's going to get one heck of a run here. Oh, his 16's loose off too. Here comes Daniel Simmons inside of the 16 of LaFrance from ESM, and they're going to be side-by-side battling here. This is the battle for the 3rd spot on the racetrack. Don't get loose now, boys. You're getting to the end of the stage. Don't lose it like those guys did earlier on, but still side-by-side. LaFrance doing one hell of a job being able to save that race car out of 2, but also keeping Daniel Simmons right there. I think that if the 16 wanted to try to make more of a battle happen between him and Simmons, he's got to try to pinch him a little bit down to 3 if he wants any sort of run here off turn number 4. But by the looks of it, Simmons is easily going to be clear, and this is going to open up the door for Jamie Knopp here coming off turn 4 to try to take away that 4th spot from LaFrance.
See Doyle Ernst in the chats keeping his attention on point here. It was not side-by-side. We had to do a quick settings change, so we had to do a full screen break momentarily to get that all cleared up. So the next one, though, I promise you will be side-by-side unless Dustin wants to troll me there behind the scenes. That'll be only time to tell. But yeah, yeah, he said you'll take the blame on that one for sure. 06 Daniel Simmons, fast, really fast cars. We got 3 to go before the break, and This guy is just moving. He actually might be able to get to the back bumper of Mark Brannigan before this thing's all said and done. But now we know where they stand. Who needs to do what? Who needs to tweak where? The sun is starting to set even further. The whole track, I do believe at this point, is under some form of shade. So this is where the track temps were starting to cool off. They're going to get their 4 fresh virtual Goodyears at the end of this stage. And then stage 2 is going to be, I think, a complete different animal here as we're going to see some positions change over time. But as pit lane is now officially closed with 2 laps or less. And the 06 there, Jason, is already to the back of Mark Brannigan.
Yeah, and the 16 of Connor LaFrance. Talk about the guy who's been making the saves of the night. He just clipped the grass there, heading down the front straightaway. Got a little loose. Almost thought he was going to lose it. That was really interesting. But look at this, though. We talk about not only Daniel Simmons getting to the back of Mark Brannigan Jr., 1 lap to go right here at the line for the stage. This is a 3-car battle for the race lead. And oh my gosh, I don't know if Daniel Simmons just backed off big time thinking the stage was over, but Mark Brannigan Jr. is probably easily going to get this 2nd position right here. That was very interesting. Daniel Simmons and Connor LaFrance looked like they backed off thinking the stage was over, but hey, everybody's got to have a Tyler Reddick moment at one point a few years ago back in Homestead. But hey, Austin Gassione, though, Jeremy, going to come home with the stage win right here.
Eastern Stars Motorsports 1, 2, and 4. And yeah, I think Daniel just kind of backed things up knowing, hey, it's not worth it. I'm getting this too racy here early on, so we're going to back it down. And caution is out for the 2nd time as our new graphics that Dustin has presented. Stage break right below the iRacing iFlag logo. That's going to signal the end of stage 1. Congratulations, Austin Gassione, on the 10 points there. These guys are going to slow down, get behind the pace car, and go to pit road. So now we're going to go to side-by-side commercial break, and we're going to be back with you guys shortly before the drop of the green flag to go over the Nerd Top 10 recap. And back full screen coverage here in Doyle. Yes, it was a picture-in-picture this time. I was not trolled. He gave me the thumbs up on that, so it is all good. These guys have 2 laps left, it looks like, before we're going to go back to green flag. And this is our time to go over the Nerd TV Top 10 recap here. So we're going to cover the top 10 and what kind of notes we have to pass off. Austin Gassione comes out P1, entered P1, so him and the 88 of Mark Brannigan teammates are going to lead this thing to green flag once again. 99 has a little bit better of a setup this time, maybe because the 88 just overdid the tires in comparison to his teammate. Who knows? But the sun is down, so we're going to see how things are changing up here. Mark Brannigan, second place. Just talked about him briefly. Led the most laps tonight so far out of the 54 total completed. Let's see what he has in store for the 99. Maybe he can get the setup change enough to be in favor for him. Connor LaFrance, the third and final Eastern Stars Motorsports guy, going to be starting in third place on the inside. He's the one who kind of fell off the most out of these three. Maybe he talked to the teammates and figured out how to drive the corners a little bit differently to run up front a little bit further into the run. Let's find out there. Daniel Simmons going to be starting in fourth place. Started in eighth. He's one of your highest mover guys tonight. Being inside the top 5 in his opening race here, I do believe, at FTSR. Pretty impressive to see, and I like to see the new guys come through here and just show up. Most of the guys saying, hey, I even know I'm new, I'm fast, and this is what I'm going to do here for you guys, and so they're going to have to compete with that. Fifth place, Jeff Chandler in the 31, highest running RPM motorsports guy. He's putting himself into the picture, and I know as these lights come down, or the sun goes down and the lights come on, I know that car is just going to get faster and faster. Jamie Knopp, sixth place, strong contender here, floating just right outside the top 5 all night long so far. Richie Coy, restarting his 7th. He was up to 4th at one point, but the long run kind of took him away, so he fell back to 7th. Robert Tracy, another newcomer here. He's up so many spots, I think 13, 25th to 8th, so got himself into the top 10. Now with a 4 fresh set of good years, let's see what he can do. Stephen Hollingsworth, up 2 spots from 11th to 9th, just inside the top 10. That 25 looking pretty okay. Doing a pretty good race overall, I would say. And then last in the top 10, Sherwood Williford in the 33. He is up 5 positions here. Well, actually, we got Wayne Gross here on your screen, but either way, my scoring pylon shows him in 11th. He's up 17 positions at 17 Wayne Grossi is. But we're waiting for the green flag to fly here. 99 Austin Gassion. Green flag is out. He's going to lead the way. The 16, Conor LaFrance, gets a little bit of a jump. Hits the back of the 99, shoots him forward in front of his teammate, the 88, here as they go off into turn 1, Jason.
Yeah, and for the first time tonight, we see the race control leader at the restart zone kind of get away. Not really a battle off turn number 2. Brannigan's going to get a little bit of a run, but 1, 2, 3 for those Eastern Stars Motorsports guys right now. Heading into turn number 3, though, you see RPM's Jeff Chandler right on the bumper of the 16 here as they work their way out of 4.
Pretty quickly just string out here at the top 5. For the most part, even top 10, there's only one group that is side-by-side right now. That's the 25 and the 06. But the 06 cannot hold the top here as the inside group might get a little faster as the sun goes down. And they do figure it out. They're all single file now through the top 10 real quickly. And we kind of touched on it, Jason, earlier on. I think this race is going to really string out here for the first 20, 30 laps because it is the long stint of the race here. And we've only had one caution so far through 57 laps here. So I really think that as we get too close to lap around 100, these guys are going to take over probably 2/3 of this track.
Yeah, and we're just going to have to find out. I mean, obviously 2 different cars, but when me and Dustin called the Martin Sports Truck Series just last week on Wednesday night, I mean, this is already setting up to be almost practically the same race. I mean, I know obviously we are so early on, we're not even remotely close to the halfway point yet. But I mean, early cautions are what plagued the race earlier on. I think it was like 1 or 2 cautions. Even on the first lap, we had a big wreck out of turn number 2. Everybody kind of settled in. Then you had some guys go to the stage, some guys pit early, and then right there after the stage break, we had everybody kind of strung out. We had our comers and goers, and everybody kind of just started playing strategy. That's probably what you're going to see here, obviously, as the sun goes down. Everybody's getting a little bit loose, and you see Josh Johnson pound the wall there off turn number 4. Lane Allen, Kyle, oh my gosh, I always mess up his name. Kyle Milliken right there in the 22 machine. He goes to the inside. That's not really that heavy contact for Josh Johnson, but definitely going to be an issue for him possibly if that fender is caved in a little bit. He got involved in a wreck earlier on, but this is the time of the night where everybody really starts to show what they have, because you're not really going to get any chances, Jeremy, if this race goes green all the way to the end until you have those green flag stops, and that's if we have those green flag stops. So everybody's kind of showing what they have as of right now.
I want to answer Doyle Lawrence's question about Troy. How far did he fall back from that wreck that happened early on? Well, he's out of the race, 27 laps down in P30, not on track, and out of the server. So that's a shame there for RPM Motorsports to lose one of their drivers early on, but that's how that sits there. Mark Brannigan looking like he maybe wants to take away this spot here from his teammate in the 99, but gets to turn one and really backs that corner up. So maybe he's trying to figure out things a little bit as far as how to enter that corner and conserve tires. But Richie Coy a couple laps ago got really loose off of turn 4 and gathered it up, and now he's here making a charge already just on the back bumper of the 16, trying to get himself into the top 3 early in this run.
Everybody right now is just fighting for everything they have right now. You can see this is looking like a Talladega Daytona type choo-choo train right now. Single file entering turns 1 and 2. Everybody's still trying to chase Austin Gassionia. There we go. We're going to need a nice train sound here on our soundboard, kind of like how, Jeremy, you always have the Larry McReynolds, and we have a caution that plays from time to time. But still, everybody, though, is remotely still glued to one another's bumper here, front or rear, whether it be, Austin Gassion having his teammate on his rear bumper, or if you're Mark Brannigan having a guy on the front and rear bumper right here, heading into 1. France gets right up against that wall, entering 1. Everybody, though, choo-choo, chugga-chugga, Thomas the Tank Engine, whatever you want to call it, all the way around 1 and 2 right now, though. And whoa, look at this. The 16 tried to go to the inside right there. 88 threw a block on his teammate at a turn number 2, and that's going to allow Cassione. Oh, the 88's loose at a 4. Talk about the choo-choo train disbanding slowly but surely. 1-2 spots now lost for Mark Brannigan Jr. as Richie Coy breaks up the Eastern Stars Motorsports top 3. He'll move into the 3rd spot, but they're still side by side at a turn number 2, and this also opens up the door for Stephen Hollingsworth behind them.
I love this. I'm sure the team owner hates this, but I love this, where your teammates are blocking each other on a track that's less than 1.5 miles long, and it came up with karma, really. Mark Brannigan throws the block on Carter LaFrance, goes through 3, enters 4 and gets loose. Mark Brannigan loses it almost, and now he's trying to battle to maintain in 3rd place here. So a little bit of karma to block his teammate, and then all of a sudden get loose 2 corners later. But still holding on strong, but this is paying greatly to Austin Gassion and Conor LaFrance. Now they've got a huge separation in comparison to what they had just a handful of laps ago. Over the 16 or 19 rather, the 25, the 06, the 31. They've got some separation. So this only plays for the teamwork part of things, but they're still side by side, Jason, the 88 Mark Brannigan and the 19 Richie Coy.
And these guys being side by side right now, as Richie thought he was going to pull a crossover right there, he decided to stay in line, kind of peeks down to the inside of the racetrack here, entering 3. Oh, he's going to get right on the rear bumper of that National Guard Camaro, kind of packs some air there on the left rear, didn't get him loose at all. They're still single file, but man, that was awfully close, probably put about half a foot between those two guys entering turn number 3. But man, good thing that they got single file now, because that draft wake is going to play a little bit of a factor with them trying to catch Austin Gassion. But we saw Jeremy right there later on in that stage. I mean, Gassion was able to pull away, so he very well could do the same right here in this stage.
Yeah, 100% here for sure. And take a look. I mentioned that these guys are really going to string out. Well, if you see on your, they're stringed, but they're really tight niched here. All these guys, 1st through 10th, are just bumper to bumper to bumper to bumper traffic, like you said, choo-choo Daytona style here. And I'm loving this. I thought there would have been way more tire conservation, but a lot of these guys seem to have a pretty similar setup underneath them, at least through the top 10, that is. So it's only good for the viewers to watch this kind of racing. As the tires start to wear down, you're going to see a lot more passing if this keeps up. So as the sun completely goes down, just be prepared. You might have a really good race here tonight going on.
Yeah, I mean, so far we've had a great race. Nobody's been able to really pull away, even with the side-by-side battle. Austin Gassion only got out to about a 0.5 of a second lead, and right now it's flirting between 3 to 4/10 of a second. So that draft weight definitely pulling a factor. Stephen Hollingsworth loose on the inside, able to save it. Boy, Jeremy, he almost snapped it right across into the field right there. Could have been a big moment for Simmons, Chandler, Knopp, Rossi, Tracy, all those guys right there. That could have been huge off turn number 4. He'll slot right in front of Grossi. Grossi's not having it. The 7 and the 07 with Rob Tracy behind him. They'll go to the inside of the racetrack and hopefully try to get around that number 25 Folgers Ford Mustang here off 4.
The 25 really needs that Ken Block paint skin. He was sideways through 3 and 4, and I would not be surprised that 25 falls back another couple positions because his rear tires have got to be screaming at him right now as he gets loose through 1 and 2. That was expected. Those tires are still hot from that slide. So he's going to let the 07 Robert Tracy, he's going to go around. Maybe he can find a gap here between him and Sherwood Williford, which he does. That 25 still seems a little uneasy through that corner there as tires are starting to cool down a little bit. But man, that was a crazy slide there from the 25.
It was really crazy. You can just see right there that first snap. If we can take another look at the replay here, maybe from the cockpit cam on the driver's point of view, you're going to see him start to slide right after he gets through the center of 3 and 4 here. As we take a look here at the Nerd TV replay, you can just see the 25 entering 3 right here. He starts to lose it, and then right when this car snaps right there, it almost went around on him. So good job by Stephen Hollingsworth being able to save it there off 4.
Yeah, that could have been really bad. And one little more inch of overcorrect, and the tire could have snapped right and destroyed the outside wall. But excellent driving there by Hollingsworth. As you're seeing the 88 of Brannigan go after his teammate Connor LaFrance to get that P2 position back from his teammate. Almost has the gap, cannot make it complete this time here, but still gets a great run on corner exit. He's going to follow the 16 through turn number 1. Jumping back to the chats once again. Jeff needs to let these guys go, burn up their tires, and nice save. Yeah, all that is correct. These guys are really racy. I mean, from our perspective, hammer down, man. Let's just see it. I'm really enjoying this race so far. We're 75 laps into a 188 lap race, so we're getting, kind of close to the halfway point here for this evening. And I'm all good if they just keep up like this. And actually, we got a caution for the 3rd time presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. Nowhere near the front, but the 57 of Joshua Johnson, turn 3, makes contact as they're 3 wide with the number 43 and the 44. Just 44 came, not realizing, I guess, there wasn't enough space for him.
Oh my goodness. So 2 things. One, I don't know what the 44 of Chris Beck was doing. I believe right there Beck was trying to side draft and unfortunately got into the door of Josh Johnson, but down the back straightaway. Oh, yeah, we're going to have to rewind it here by maybe just a few seconds to see. But down the back straightaway, you're going to see him right here. He gets a run to the inside of Josh Johnson, tries to side draft, I think, and unfortunately just misjudged it. And watch Tony Solari.
Ooh, I don't think he hit the outside wall, man.
He didn't hit it. He didn't hit it at all, baby. And if he did, he gave it a little Nashville kiss right there up in turn 4. That could have been a huge moment for Tony Solari. Perfect onboard shot. Watch this, man. This is like having your life flash before your eyes. It's like John Wick was coming after you.
No.
John Wick just missed you. Oh, my goodness.
Man.
That's about 2 or 3 close calls here tonight. Man, Nashville has not disappointed here tonight. And you know what they say, the lights come on, sun goes down, everything gets crazy. Jeremy, speaking of the sun going down, track temp has already dropped by about almost 3 or 4 degrees right here. And that track temp's probably going to continuously drop slowly but surely here as the rest of this race goes on. But so far, no matter sun or darkness, Austin Gassione has been the fastest guy on the racetrack. Best lap so far of the race, too, 29.658. Nobody has cracked that 0.5, bracket, but also those were qualifying setups put in earlier on. But wow, I mean, what great racing we've had here tonight from the virtual Nashville Superspeedway.
Jason, this is for you.
And we have a caution.
There we go.
Yeah,
I had to do it.
And it's pretty late into the caution, but we had to recap that wreck first, so then I'm going to play that when I got the time. But as we're kind of just waiting for the pace laps to wind down here. I think we got 2 laps left. I think it is time to bring in one of our in-race reporters. You know, we talked to Mr. Ryan Chapman a couple weeks ago, so I think it's our time to bring in one of our fellow nerds, Mr. Richie Coy. See if I can get him in here for a quick chat. Pull him out of his channel here. Give me just a moment to do that. I gotta make sure I click on the right channel, you know, because that'd be kind of crazy if I didn't. But Mr. Richie Coy, this is Jeremy in the Nerd TV booth. You got a copy?
What's up, nerds?
Hey man, we're talking to you mid-race this time. Appreciate you bringing out your cell phone for some video footage, and what a crazy race so far. Nashville has been very entertaining on our perspective. You've had a pretty interesting night yourself so far. What do you have in store going the rest of the way?
Well, no idea. Let's see. I've really been kind of riding, just trying to pace these guys, trying not to burn off my tires like I did in that first run. And now I'm the first one out on new tires over these guys, so I'm hoping to be able to get some distance on them and not get wrecked here on the restart and see what we get.
All right, man. Well, get back to us. We just want to touch in, see how things are going on your end. And the sun is down. Do you have any expectations for your car setup when the sun goes down all the way?
I'm hoping that it goes the right way. It's been a little loose, so I'm actually hoping it actually tightens up a little bit. That's kind of where I've been striving for it to go. But,
all right, yeah.
We'll be all right. How do you like that new advanced auto parts scheme?
You know, I noticed that. I love it. I love it. You did a great job on
I hope
that.
Ryan Blaney runs that thing. That thing would be so sick to run. I love the Rusty Wallace scheme that he always runs, but that thing is badass, man.
I appreciate it, guys. I wanted to do something a little bit different than just that plain old black advanced one, even though that one's cool too.
Yeah, keep this thing for the long run, man. It's awesome. But we're going to put you back in your channel. You got a half a lap left. Good luck out there.
Roger. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
Nice talking to Richie Coy.
Yeah, man. We just talked to him in the post race, which, you know, last year was every single week that we broadcast, he was in the top 3 getting his post race interview. So it's just, you know, he hasn't had as much seat time with us because these guys like RPM and now Eastern Stars have just been showcasing themselves. And so we're going to start bringing them in here a little bit more during the mid-race stuff. But pace car is down. We're going to have the 4th time. We're going to see the green flag fly. Once again, Austin Gassion in the 99 is going to lead it to the field. Mark Brannigan gives them a nice little bump this time. Once again, it's going to propel Austin to the race lead for like 2 car lengths here during turn number 1. 25 Hollingsworth looking low to try to maybe get the door opened up for him early.
That car for Stephen Hollingsworth has been so awkward all night. I mean, he's gone from the, you know, somewhat mid-pack, you know, right outside the top 10 to, you know, right now inside the top 5, and he's looking to try to get into the podium here if he can pass the ESM guy of Connor LaFrance here. They're working their way all 4, everybody 2, 3, almost 3 wide there in the back, but still double wide. Stephen Hollingsworth has had a pretty awkward night, and that's not a bad thing to say. It's just the car almost snapped around on him for a handful of laps ago, but here he is right now. That car is really fast. I expect, Jeremy, if Stephen Hollingsworth keeps on running the way he does and maybe some strategy comes into play, I think you could look at Stephen Hollingsworth getting possibly a win, but no doubt about it, challenging those ESM guys for podium here tonight.
3 wide, midway in here in the back, the number 7 of Wayne Grossi, looks like the 07 as well, and also the 30 of TJ Bartel. They make some contact going through turn 1 and turn 2. They're kind of separated out here. But these guys right now, super racy midway through this pack. I'd keep our eye out on this because this looks like there's a handful of cars that are, you know, 2 wide, 3 wide here early on in this restart.
It's up move, too, by Wayne Grossi. I don't believe he just, like, lost it and, you know, they passed him straight up into 1. He pretty much backed off knowing that, you know, it's still early. We're not even at 100 laps to go yet. So heads up driving by Wayne Grossi. He knows he's probably a little bit faster than Bartel and Tracy right now. What a run for Rob Tracy right now. Plus 14 from where he started, sitting just outside the top 10 right now, trying to get around TJ Bartel. And another guy, too, who we've obviously been keeping his our eyes on, or especially my eyes in particular, has been Jamie Knopf. He was up there in the top 3, top 4, top 5 earlier on. He's dropped back to 9th right now. I don't know if that was just because of a poor restart, maybe also the tire wear coming in, also the sun setting as well. But, I mean, he's fast here tonight. He's going to have himself a good car if he could just make those right adjustments, continue to strive forward like he's been doing all night long as he tries to move up right now in the 7th position, because Stephen Hollingsworth is dropping like a rock. You can just see, though, Jeremy, how I'd said before, this has been an awkward night for Stephen Hollingsworth. He's been loose, he's been fast, but I guess being loose is fast. Am I right?
He's been loose, he's been fast, he's been inconsistent, really. As I actually missed what my producer just said in my ear, but this race has been... So it's been here. You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong for sure. Almost 3 wide here. Still 25 once again getting loose. TJ Bartel's going to pass him up, no problem there through turn 4. Now the 7's going to try to pass the 07 as well, as he got a little checked up there on the corner exit. This racing back here for 9th, 10th, maybe all the way through 15th really has been really good since the drop of green flag. Even 3 wide if you pan over a few cars behind them. 14. Lane Allen, I think he was just 3 wide there with the 51 of Brandon Elder. 43 of Melgan, going to be trying to pass the 14 this time. So there's just good racing all around this track right now.
Milikian almost got into Brody Hanna just about a lap ago, and everybody was scrambling down the front straightaway. It looked like they were flying down the back straightaway, shuffling, trying to figure out which line they wanted to go in, who's got momentum, who's not, who doesn't, down the front straightaway, like as if they were down the back stretch of Daytona or Talladega. But look at Stephen Hollingsworth right now, big time holding up these guys behind him. You see right there, Tracy Grossi going to split them almost 3 wide. Oh, the 25 is going to go up the track, put the 07 into the marbles, loose off turn 4, gets into Grossi, big hit into the wall.
Oh, the 14, no. Massive contact there. The 44, Chris Beck comes in and slams the 51's nose. There's about 7 or 8 cars involved in this one. The big one here has happened on Nashville on lap 88. Just piling up, and so many cars scattered. Ryan Chapman 7, Wayne Grossi 51, Elder 44, the 14, Colton Gum cuts halfway through the infield to avoid everything. The 25 is involved. I think that's most of the guys really, but man, that's such a big wreck. Everyone's scattered everywhere.
Man, saw it. It was brewing, Jeremy. We were talking about that big battle, that pack, you should say, the Daytona Talladega type pack for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, heck, 6 laps. Wayne Grossi's night probably is going to come to an end right here. Heavy, heavy damage. And this has been the troublesome spot all night long, has been off turn 4. We've already seen 1 wreck there off the corner. Big wreck. You see Lane Allen involved. Chris Beck, hard hit into the front nose, right on the right front fender. Other drivers scrambling, trying to avoid it. You saw Josh Johnson right there. You saw the 6 as well of James Torrey get around it on the outside, right past the start-finish line. And this all started coming off turn number 4. You see Ryan Chapman trying to slow it down. Not enough pow, right into the right side passenger door of that 25 Folgers machine, throwing it back to Tim Richmond. And that number 27, oh my goodness, just a heartbreaker for Ryan Chapman here tonight. I said it earlier, Jeremy. He got past 1 wreck, and I didn't know if it was going to be another one.
Yeah, way more contact in this one here. And I think this is going to end it for the 25's inconsistency here. Just being really good in the top 10, but
just very loose.
Unfortunate. Yeah, just loose, and it just finally got to him. Also, TJ Bartel, not part of that wreck, but he has dropped out due to packet loss. So 2 RPM Motorsports guys are currently sitting out of this race here. Do you see the 43 Melgan really just splitting the infield in half? Look how good that was, just avoiding everything. For this small track, Jason, there's a lot of grass down there in that infield, and he utilized almost all the space possible to avoid. Once again, just says, you know what, nope, I'm good. Grid heads up there, and just brought up the lawnmower.
I think the grass was probably an inch too tall right there, so the 43 had to do something. But I wonder if real quick here for our producer, if we can maybe get a look from the 25's vantage point here, possibly. I mean, and we talked about it just beforehand too, Jeremy. I said that that's been the troublesome spot all night long, and they were 3 wide. And once that one guy up on the outside got out of the groove, got into the marbles. You saw the 25, not in the preferred groove. He got loose right into everybody, and that was a massive pileup. And this could just be what could be more to come. We saw later on in the Truck Series race on Monday, not Monday, but last Wednesday, it came down, to an overtime finish. And we didn't just have one overtime finish, we had multiple. And here we go, perfect example right from when we were on live. You see the 07 right there, outside, 25's trying to come down, just gets loose, gets right into the 7's door, hard contact, right into the wall right there. Man. Yeah, spin me right around. Yeah, like a record, baby. Right around.
Yeah, these guys have a lot of repairs going on. 25, still sitting on pit road. The 44, still sitting on pit road. Those guys took massive damage to the front end of those cars. No surprise there. Hayes car lights are out, signaling 1 lap to go. They're going to restart on lap 92 as we are just a few laps away from reaching the halfway point in this event. So we have a new set of leaders here.
Yeah.
Richie Coy going to be taking P1 on this starting order. Daniel Simmons going to be starting in second. Jeff Chandler, I guess TJ Bartel has reconnected. I'm not sure if he's joined back on the track just yet. He has not. So as of right now, Jeff Chandler, the only RPM guy, he's going to be starting in third place. Jamie Knott, he's got a decent chance here in fourth place here. And then Williford up the highest position possible, or since the drop of the green flag tonight, up 10 spots into fifth. So the strategy call here for the teammates, Austin, Mark, Connor, they went from first, second, third to 15th, 16th, 17th with that tire change. Let's see how this pays off for them. I'm going to be tuned in on this one.
Yeah, for sure. And remember, 12-lap fresher tires for those guys, starting with Mark Brannigan Jr. back there. And we saw 10 laps in, there's about a 2/10 of a second difference between those guys. So we're going to have to see how this plays out.
Yep, green flag is out. Richie Coy and Jeff Chandler get an excellent start there. Jeff Chandler quickly moves up to second place, passes Daniel Simmons there as he falls in line. So top three single file. Everybody else is still 2 by 2 by 2 going through the back stretch here. And this racing, as the lights have come down, it's already been impressive to see how much the 33 making some contact there with the 84. Keeps it going straight though, but it's going to put a huge amount of gap between third and fourth place. Your top three separated out.
That's really good for those top three. They want to get away from this pack as quickly as possible. We just saw what happened before. It might happen again. But what a job for Sherwood Williford right now, trying to defend Jamie Knopf right now off turn number 2. We saw last season, Jeremy, when I joined over at Nerd TV, Sherwood was always very fast, always a guy I was looking for. And here he is right now. It's been kind of a struggle.
More wrecks.
One car in the wall hard. Chad Lang off turn number 4.
Yep, just caught that on the very tip-top corner of my screen here. Fifth rather, presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. And 3 wide here, just not paying anything for these guys this time. It's the 99 of Gassion puts himself back there as the 4 comes across the 37's nose into the outside wall there. Heavy contact there by Chad Lang.
The 37 looks like he just got loose right there and clipped the right rear of the 4. You're going to see right here off turn 4. Yeah, the 37 car just gets loose, gets right into the right rear of Chad Lang. And wow, heads up driving from, I believe we're on board with Josh Johnson right now. Maybe going to try to see if we can get another look from his vantage point, but I don't think he hit anything. He split the middle just like Ryan Chapman did earlier on in that first caution. We're going to take another look here at the Nerd TV replay from Josh Johnson right here. You see all the trouble playing in front of him. And nope, got a little contact.
Dublé got loose, it looks like. I think I saw some rubber coming up the right rear corner on next to the turn 4, and he turned down to the 4 there. If we can take a look at that for sure. Oh, yeah. He just got loose. It looks like coming through the corner exit. Kick sideways. That's what shot him down the track just enough to hit that 4 there. Just pounds the outside wall there. So close from the 99. Taking that strategy to go midfield and almost gets involved in a wreck early on. That was a close call. But as these guys are winding down, we're going to go to commercial break, picture-in-picture mode as you guys figure out who's going to pit, who's going to not. We'll be back with you guys shortly. And welcome back. Full screen coverage here as we got 2 laps to go before we're going to go back to green flag for the 6th time here this evening. And I think, Jason, this is a great time to bring in our other in-race reporter presented by iRock 93.5 Rock Station out there in the Illinois area. We're going to see if we can get Mr. Chapman in here. Just got to do it. Whoops, I did not. Wrong button. Okay, here we go. All right, Mr. Ryan Chapman, this is Jeremy the Nerd TV booth. You got a copy?
I do, guys. What's up, man?
What's up, Mr. Chapman? Jason is well up here in the booth, man. So far, it's been a really interesting race. We saw a very, very interesting race for me and Dustin on Wednesday night for the trucks, and you guys have been putting on one hell of a show here in these next-gen cars here tonight, man. We saw earlier, you split the middle, talk about threading the needle quite literally. 3 wide in the middle, you split it, you made it basically. A little bit of damage, I think, on the right rear. Then, unfortunately, you got caught up in that one big one just a couple cautions ago with Stephen Hollingsworth, man. What's the damage status right now on the car?
We're good right now. Everything's fixed. We made a big swing because we were getting tight late in the run. So right now it's feeling pretty good. We're chilling up here in 14th, finally up towards the middle of the pack, which I'm happy with the progress, but we're trying to go for the front and we're trying to get there. So that's our main goal. Robert and Colin have been doing a great job getting up there. They're hanging there, and we'll see what we can do.
One more thing before you go. Obviously, we talked about how this race was going to transfer from basically dusk all the way into the nighttime. How do you think the track's really going to change once you get towards probably the last 20, 30 laps of this race probably? Because it's already dropped about 5 degrees, and everybody kind of seems to either be getting loose or tight.
I feel like it's gonna get a little looser, or a little tighter. So that's why I did the big swing, so we can kind of keep it loose instead of getting tight. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. See if the swing works, and hopefully put on a good show for you guys.
Thank you, Ryan, man. Hopefully you'll have a good night here tonight. Love those colors here tonight. We'll see you hopefully on the podium by the end of this race.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. And that was Ryan Chapman, driver number 27, our second and only in-race reporter here tonight. So we got to talk to both of them, which is kind of cool. Cautions do kind of present those kind of opportunities, and now we're set up for the green flag for the 7th time this evening. Green flag underway. Richie Coy gets a decent start here over the 06 and 31, which I thought was about a car length of space. 31's going to try to slide in and does, so Jeff Chandler's going to take over 2nd place. And then Daniel Simmons actually takes over 3rd as well. Everybody else, though, still cannot find their gap they want to be in 2x2x2 the rest of the way, Jason.
Yeah, not a lot of pushing like we've seen on most of the restarts here tonight, but everybody's still too wide here throughout the pack, past the top 3 right now. You see a little bit of 3 wide action. This is what you get for mixing 12-lap older tires with newer tires. You see the 88 right there. Mark Brannigan Jr. side draft and almost got into the right rear of Colton Gum there exiting 4th. Look at those 12-lap fresher tires pay off heading into the corner. Mark Brannigan Jr. splitting the middle, a little bit of contact. Colton Gum and splitting Louis Meglin right there in that 43. Here comes his teammate Connor LaFrance. It is a race to get back to the front here for these guys from ESM here. Big for Colton. Almost cut right across Austin Gassion, but they're all shuffling for position in this 1 and 2.
Man, I thought we were going to see some 4 wide passing here on the front stretch, and they thought twice about it. But these guys making that bold strategy to pit when nobody else did, that being Eastern Stars Motorsports, to find their way through. Oh, we got more 3. Oh, my God. Michael Blackner just destroyed the outside wall in turn 3. I think he took the 47 of Ryan Chapman with him. Nope, not the 47. I got to figure out who that was. Or maybe it was the 47. Yeah, it was the 47. Oh, Ryan Chapman, an in-race reporter, 2 got destroyed as well. And the 6 there of James Torrey. 4 cars, maybe 5 total damage. But we're going to need the ambulance out there for that one for the number 87. That was just heavy, heavy impact.
Yeah, well, funny enough, as a broadcaster, sometimes you got to text people during the middle of a broadcast. I was texting my friend, and I sent them a picture of the broadcast that was going on, and I actually caught it right as it was happening. The 99 made a little bit of contact with the 87 right there of Michael Blackner heading into 3 and 4, and then I believe the 87 just overcorrected big time and went up and into the wall. Hard impact, collects multiple drivers. James Torrey, James Walsh just barely gets by. Little bit of contact. You can see right here. Yep, perfect. Believe the 87 might have came right down on the 99, tried to force it. The door shut, overcorrects right in front of one of the most dominant cars here tonight. Hard impact up and off the ground. Wow.
Yeah, I was actually kind of analyzing that wreck there, how that got started, and Austin Gassion had a huge run as Michael Blackner picked up for the corner early. He'd kind of come down under the bottom groove at the same time the 99 was aiming for the bottom, so they kind of found themselves in the same amount of real estate at the wrong time. Just too much momentum to hit the brakes on, got underneath them and hooked them, and then the 87 just barely turns to the right and gets to the flat spot, and boop, there it goes, and just almost a 90-degree dead impact right into the outside wall. All four wheels flying off the track, and you got to love the iRacing's new damage model here, where they're getting the tire hoods flying across the track, the nose pieces flying across the track. You see it right, booms, heavy impacts, DraftKings all over the racetrack.
Yeah, and you can just see right there, the only thing that's left on that hood pretty much is the engine bay, obviously, and also those hood vents right there, and also exposing the front tires. And honestly, just from the looks of it, I really did think that Michael Blackner shut the door, but I did not see until that replay. And Jeremy, you mentioned it, how big of a run the 99 of Gassion had coming into turn 3. And man, oh man, that was a hell of a run for him heading into 3. And you could see he did try to check up once he made contact with the left rear quarter panel bumper, whatever you want to deem it as. Heading into 3, tried to lay off, just not enough time right there. You're carrying so much speed. You can only do so much at a track like Nashville Superspeedway when you're carrying so much speed down the straightaways into a tight, narrow corner like turn number 3.
Yeah, 100%. And there was a question proposed in the chats. What's the tire strategy look like as far as tire limit goes? 5 total sets of tires, so 1 on the car, 4 behind the wall. This being the 6th caution, these guys have made pit stops. So with this amount of cautions, and we still have 85 laps to go, right? So how do you play this tire strategy at this point? When do you say, you know what, cautions are done, I'm going to come in and pit? Because right now we've got so many different cautions that have happened on restarts, on long runs. You had the stage one, of course. So it's been a variety of how these cautions have come out. Like when do you take your last set of tires at this point? Because eventually you're going to get down to that number, and we don't see this at FTSR too often. You don't see them take more than 2 or 3 cautions, right? So now we're on caution 6. Who determines when you come down and get that last set? So this will also be a huge strategy play as we get down to the later laps in this race.
Well, yeah, I mean, right now, Jeremy, and to point out what Doyle Lawrence did say on the track, obviously, Jeremy, you said 5 total sets, 1 on the car, 4 behind the wall. Some guys have already had 4 stops here tonight. Some guys have already had 3. So if you're a driver right now, like Austin Gassion, you still have, a couple sets left. If you're Colton Gum, you probably only have 1 set left, just deeming that he has taken 3 sets of tires. So, some of these guys, they might try to extend that, stay out as long as they can, and then pit when they have to, so they can, try to, just stay out and have an extra set of tires if we do get a late race caution with 10, 15 laps to go or so. So the door is wide open here for strategy, quite possibly, just because of the amount of cautions we've had here tonight, Jeremy.
Yeah, you're welcome to keep you update there, Doyle. And I got Matt Keach also in the chat. What's going on, man? How you doing tonight? Red Bull stuff. Cars doing Red Bull things. I mean, if you're speaking F1 Monaco with Sergio Perez, yes, you hit the outside wall, no problem there in turn 1. But green flag is back out. Richie Coy, similar restart with the 31 diving below the 0.6 here once again. So basically identical restart for the top 3. Everybody else 2x2x2, almost low 3 wide there for just outside of the top 5. They quickly get that sorted out. But I'm going to keep my eye on mid-pack, because mid-pack seems to be where all the action is right now, especially with these ESM guys trying to make their way through the field as quick as possible. And here we go. We got more It looks like the 84, Jamie gets a little bit of a hiccup there, checks up with the 33, the 88, the 22. They're almost 3 wide here going through turn 1 and 2.
Really slicing and dicing right now off the corner. The 33 Sherwood Williford gets a little bit loose. You see Mark Brannigan Jr. trying to look for a way around these guys on the 12-lap older tires. And here comes Robert Malicki in there, also in the 22. Up the racetrack, the 33 got into the door of the 88. Brian Dublé in the wall back there as well. But man, the 88 almost pounded the wall off turn number 4. Sherwood Williford struggling with grip right now, and the 88 bringing along his teammates. LaFrance, Gassion, they're all flying to the front as well, trying to fight for every piece of track, every piece of real estate, and every position here as we're just under 88 laps to go.
Man, Dustin needs like 3 different cameramen with him right now because there's action. Ryan Chapman, the 27, hits the wall. Brian Dublé hit the wall last time off of turn 4. At the same token, the 14 and the 10 almost made contact midway through 1 and 2. We're getting guys loose in the back, loose in the front. There's just action going on all over the place. I'll see my brother jumping in the chats there on Facebook saying F1 who? That's because he's an oval guy only. Yep, I need to register for that F1 subscription. Well worth your money there, sir. We see the 22 Malicki, and you talked about it during the last commercial break there, Jason. If you get in that third groove or whatnot, it's really tough to really recover off corner exit in the 22. Able to find some type of speed, but right now still sitting midway in this pack here, just right inside the top 10, really. So he's found out a way how to exit turn 2.
Thing is too, for a little explanation for some of these folks at home, you know, you see that dark groove right there on the bottom lane, those 2 grooves, the middle and the bottom lane, for what we've seen all night. And when we mean get up into that top groove, there is no rubber up there. There is no grip at all. That is all the old leftover rubber, dirt, dust, whatever you want to call it, you know, all the way at the top of the racetrack. You get into that stuff, there is no grip up there. And with the amount of speed these guys are carrying, like you've seen the wrecks off turn number 4 and the near misses off turn number 2 here tonight, it is very, very hard to save these cars, especially not only with the low grip up there, but also the rack and pinion steering, which allows these guys to really snap those cars around.
Yeah, 100% there for sure. I think this is actually a great time because they've kind of got spaced out. We're going to turn up the tudes. We're going to crank up the sounds of these engines going around this 1.3 mile virtual Nashville Speedway. Be back with you guys shortly. was our turn up the tude segment there. Well, I got my drink to refresh my voice, and hopefully it'll survive for another 70 laps. But as we're looking on board here, the 19 Richie Coy still leading the way. Jeff Chandler in the 31, just a few car lengths behind him, is going to be in second. And Mark Brannigan Jr. has found himself back into the top 3 for the first time since probably, 40 or 50 laps ago when his team came down for pit road to make some pit stops that nobody else came down for. So at least one car has successfully made their way back to the top 3. And he's got a little bit fresher tires than these two. So let's see what this 88 has in store, Jason, for these guys.
Mark Brannigan Jr. just ran a 30 flat. Oh, and he hits the wall off turn number 2. Little too much mustard off turn number 2 right there for Mark Brannigan Jr. Don't believe that's going to be too much damage, but that could be huge for the 88 if it is internal, possibly. Doesn't look like there's any damage there on the right side of that National Guard Camaro, but if so, that is huge for one of our most dominant cars of the night. But thing to point out, everybody right now is faster than the Haskell, New Jersey native of Richie Coy right here. Down the back straightaway, here comes RPM's Jeff Chandler right on the bumper almost of Coy here at a turn number 4. It's Fury, RPM, and Eastern Stars Motorsports right behind them. Nose to tail across the line this time by lap 124. Goes up on the board into 1.
And the rest of his teammates are starting to come along now. The 99 Gassion finds himself 4th. Connor LaFrance currently in 6th, trying to get around Daniel Simmons there to get himself back into the top 5. But here we are side by side for the race lead, the 31 and the 19, trying to figure it out through turns 3. The 31 has an excellent amount of grip on the bottom of 3, able to keep the momentum off turn 4. Brannigan all over the rear end him of trying to push Jeff Chandler past the 19, shoots up the track to try and get himself a good position in turn 1. But the 31 gets a little push loose maybe right there. And now the 88 going to go 3 wide like we saw last night here at Nashville for the race lead.
Man, Jeff Chandler heads up backing off early there, going into 3. Knew it wasn't going to be the best position for him. And Richie Coy is up in the low stuff. He's what a save by Richie Coy. Talked about it just before we did turn up the tunes. And Richie Coy got up into the marbles, nearly loses it off turn number 4. Kisses the wall practically with the right rear quarter panel. Looking at it right here, up and into the marbles, kisses the wall. I don't even know if he touched it, Jeremy, but if he did, it was awfully close. But I don't know. I see a little bit of damage, I think, on that right side for Richie Coy. I don't know, man. He's dropped all the way back to 5th. And look at this right here. Richie Coy coming off the corner here. Oh, boy, he might have kissed it. Oh, he just barely kissed it, I think. I think he just barely touched it. He probably just licked it like an ice cream cone right there. But not a big enough lick like Darrell Waltrip would say. But Richie's dropped all the way back to 6th. You got to think, though, Jeremy, getting into the marbles, getting loose off 4, that had to have just made that right rear tire scream. And it screamed so bad that now he went from the lead all the way back outside the top 5.
You know what I'm laughing about? Look at your top 3 cars.
I know.
That little mistake allowed them to pass the 31, the 06, and Richie all within like the same straightaway. And now the guys who found themselves back in 16th, 17th, and 18th are back to 1, 2, and 3. Doesn't matter where they pit, when they pit. These guys are going to find themselves back to the front here as we're on 60 laps to go. So 2/3 down, 1/3 to go. Lights are down, and it does not matter. These cars are still bad fast, tracking 1, 2, 3. This is crazy. This is crazy. And I want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors here, Martin Sports. I love the show. Now, I haven't talked about them in a couple weeks, so I want to put them in the spotlight a little bit. Small company, big time product, the best sim gloves of all of sim racing. If you don't have a set yet, please head over to martinsports.gg. Pick yourself up a pair. They have tons of designs to choose from. They started doing softball stuff, and they have been doing it for a while, but then they recently got themselves into the sim world, kind of customized their gloves for the sim. And you know what? It's some of the best stuff out there. Keeps your hands perfectly dry, even during long endurance races. And they got other stuff too: hoodies, t-shirts, hats. They got embroidering. custom full dye printing on their sports jerseys. And so just a lot of stuff going on over at martinsports.gg. And they offer a really big discount for the community. So if you use Super Nerd at checkout, you're going to save a quarter of what you spend, 25% off anything you do purchase over at martinsports.gg. Heading back to the action here, we're focused on Colton Gum in the 10, the 57 to Joshua Johnson. They're still currently side by side here. This is a battle for just outside the top 10.
Yeah, these guys have been battling a little bit recently, obviously, and pretty much all these guys back here have gotten into some sort of trouble earlier on in this race. We saw Josh Johnson get involved in the wreck. We saw Colton Gum, the 43 as well. James Wallace, I mean, he has been near miss pretty much all night long as far as I remember and am concerned. He has basically just tapped people once, twice, almost 3 times, and he's had a solid comeback. James was one of those guys. He was really solid and really fast early when I joined with Nerd TV last season for season A, and then all of a sudden he just kind of started to fade away. I didn't really see him as much. Kind of had some really bad runs, so it's nice to see James. Yeah, he's been involved in a couple of incidents here tonight, but he's running right outside the top 10. And the guys up in front of him, some of them are really struggling right now. And looking at everything right now, James is actually faster than most of those guys up in front of him who are just burning up their tires. So this is going to be a good opportunity if this race continues to run green for James to probably march his way up inside the top 10. I mean, he's got a lot of racetrack to cover. I mean, Sherwood Williford is 4 seconds, I believe, in front of him right now. So it's going to be a long ways to get back to him. The 33 just exiting turn number 2. You see James center for 1 and 2. Off 2 now right past the NSS turn 2 sign. But James has been having a solid run here tonight, plus 16. I hopefully, hope to see good things out of him here tonight for the rest of the race.
Yeah, absolutely here. And he's always been one of the long run guys, but right now you see just an open track right in front of that 67. Nobody for at least half the front straightaway, really. So good to see clean air on his nose. That means he's going to have extra speed to try to work these guys over a little bit as these laps continue to wind down. I think that damage that the 19 occurred when he hit the wall just enough there off exit 4, about 15 laps prior. I think it has kind of slowed down his car. His pace has just not been there. Looking at the lap times, he currently resides in 7th place. Robert Malikian's a long ways back there in 8th, about 15 car lengths or so. So no pressure on the 19, but yeah, I think he's kind of just, maybe hoping for one more caution to get that little bit of damage repaired, to get that car set back in, because right now it just does not have the pace.
And I tell you what, touching up a little bit on another driver, look at right behind the 22, Brody Hanna running inside the top 10. We talked about right before the broadcast began. Brody, really strong last season, and then this season hasn't really been here. Obviously, he was on vacation about a week or 2 ago, wasn't making the race. A couple races he's missed, a couple races he's had some really, really bad finishes. But here he is here tonight in that 23 machine for Fury. He's running really solid, right inside the top 10. We've seen Fury usually dominate, obviously, German. We've talked about it, how, RPM and ESM, they've been doing really, really good. They have pretty much matched, if not done better, these last couple weeks over Fury Motorsports, and both those teams have found something. And I wouldn't be surprised if you probably see another team or two here probably in the near future, maybe next season or towards the tail end of season B, with how much practice they do or whatnot. I think you could see other guys, other teams start to become a factor. We've obviously already seen Robert Milikian. He's been really fast. Heartbreaker last season in season A, or I believe it was earlier this season, it was last season, season A. Coming to the white flag, hit the wall in 3, gave up the lead. But hey, that's just racing. A lot of guys, though, could have some opportunities. But Brody Hanna, Sherwood Williford, they're on pit road right now. This could be, Jeremy, the start of green flag pit stops. These guys still have to make one more before this race is over.
This is the first green flag pit stop we have seen, period, tonight, happening on lap 139. Yeah, 2 guys coming down pit road to start this trend potentially going on here. You did say they have to pit one more time, and that is correct. Looks like those 2 have kind of splitting the gap at the 10 of Colton Gum. He's coming down pit road. A couple more guys I think have come down the 5th. Well, I think the 0. No, never mind. So 3 guys right now are on pit road here. You see Malikian, that's 4. So 4 guys have come down. And I think Jeff Chandler, 31, yep, he's going to come down. The only RPM Motorsports guy left in the field. So the window has opened, and we should start seeing everybody else here in the next few laps make their way to pit road for the only green flag stop here tonight.
Yeah, and that obviously is if we actually have another caution, this could be the only stop of the night. But now that Jeff Chandler just came in, you just said it, Jeremy, door's wide open. The door was already open when those 2 guys came in right beforehand. But now that Jeff Chandler, who's been up in the top 5, top 10, battling for the lead, now that he's pitted, that door is off the hinges completely. You're going to see guys start to pit here. Maybe Mark Brannigan Jr., who's under fire from Daniel Simmons, a guy who has 12-lap older tires, has taken the lead. Daniel Simmons out of nowhere is just flying right now past all 3 of the Eastern Stars Motorsports guys, and Daniel Simmons is flying and hopefully trying to capture a victory here tonight from Nashville. But no doubt about it, these guys have got to be thinking to themselves, when do we pit? Because just think about it, Jeremy, they're all so close. One lap could make all the difference with pitting, entry, exit, tires, whatever. Everything, every second, every turn matters here for these next less than 40 laps.
The 2 things to really point out on this is the 88, 99, and 16. They had to drive through the field with these set of tires, right? So even though they got less laps on them, they had to do more work with it. So they've kind of mellowed out here with the 0.6. Now, we have seen it several times this season to where if you pit 1 lap shorter than your competitor, that has paid dividends and brought success to whoever makes that pit stop first. See the 19 of Richie Coy, he's come back on the track here after his pit stop. This will be a good sign to see what happens. The 19, he's got a fresh set of tires. If he can maintain a solid pace and have that damage maybe repaired from his pit crew, we might see the 19 be in the podium spot here. But I think if you're the 88, the 99, even the 84 there of Jamie, who's currently residing in 3rd, if they come down pit road now and beat the 0.6 into pit road and get that spot back, I think that's going to be the difference of seeing one of these guys take home the checker flag tonight.
Absolutely. If they want to try anything to do anything to do with that 06 car, they're going to have to pit sooner than later, for sure. I mean, if that 06 pits before them, I think it's going to be over and done with. You're seeing right now, pass for second, Jamie Knopf right now, passing Mark Brannigan Jr., easily going to let him by, knows he's faster. But if I'm Mark Brannigan Jr., if I'm Austin Gastione, I'm Connor LaFrance over at ESM, I'm pitting, man. I am absolutely 100% pitting. The only reason they're probably staying out a little longer is because they pitted on lap 88. Whoa, big Alan Crow, a big moment there on entry. Don't know Oh, here we go.
Mark Brannigan.
All 3 of the ESM guys are in now.
Mark Brannigan, I heard him call down pit road, but that pit entry there from the 88, maximizing every ounce of speed to get on pit road, sliding it all the way. I don't think he even touched the grass, but watch this pit entrance, man. I thought at one point he was going to overshoot it for sure. Hitting the brake heavy, late. Turn, slide it sideways. Missed the grass, still locking it up. Gets to the cone. I don't know if he's going to have a penalty, but man, that was an excellent effort from the 88.
We're going to have to see. I mean, Jeremy, you saw what I just saw, too, on the Nerd TV replay. I mean, Mark looked to be a whole hell of a lot faster than Austin and Connor coming into the pits. That might be a penalty for Mark Brannigan Jr. We'll have to see. But the 2 leaders are in. Jamie Knopf, Daniel Simmons, they're in. This could make or break the race right here if the ESM guys could beat those 2 guys out. Brian Dublé pitted on lap 102, so he could go a whole heck of a lot longer than some of these other guys. And thinking about this right now, me and Dustin called that race last week here, and I mean, we had a late race yellow during, towards the end of the green flag pit stop, so we could see just that here later on in this race. I tend to have a commentator's curse. I'm going to say it. I think I'm going to be right. I think we're going to have a late race yellow. Maybe we won't. But man, oh man, Mark Brannigan Jr., Jeff Chandler, that played out for him big time, Jeremy, with Jeff coming to pit road early. Now the question is, can those 6-lap older tires hold off here if he can take care of it just until the end of this race, if the race does go green until the end?
Look at that difference between one lap of Daniel Simmons in the 06 and then Mark Brannigan Jr. in the 88. Just that one lap definitely paid huge for the 88 there. So I think that's going to be the difference maker there. Brian Dublé currently top of the leader charts because he has not made his pit stop yet. Getting himself a lap lead. He's got to find some space to get down to the bottom to make that pit stop because he's still waiting to do so. But yeah, 88 looks like he's free of any speeding penalty. I think he did excellent there. Just have to wait for Dublé, and then 88 will resume as your race leader.
I think Brian Dublé has another set of tires. Looking at the pit counter, he has pitted 4 times, and obviously we talked about 5 sets total, 1 on the cars at the start, 4 in the pits behind the wall. I don't think Brian Dublé has another set of tires. I think he's banking on trying to have a caution. I mean, maybe he does have another set of tires. I just don't know. I mean, Brian's been caught up in issues. He slapped the wall. I mean, he was far back there. He's making his way up through the field, and he last pitted on lap 102. So he's banking on a caution right now. I don't think it's going to play out for Brian Dublé just from the way it's been. But who knows? We've been wrong before up here in the Nerd TV booth. We had a late race yellow last week for the Martin Sports Truck Series, and we very well could have a late race yellow with how chaotic and amazing this race has been here tonight from Nashville.
We've talked about my playbook for over a year now, and we know that's wrong. So I ain't going to try to do some strategy calls tonight. I don't even bring it anymore, as Dustin said in my ear. That is absolutely true. Maybe even winging it is even more accurate than the actual book itself. So, but yeah, Brian Dublé is still out. Running an incredibly slow pace in comparison to everybody else because, of the tire difference. And I'm noticing that Brian Dublé is running a pretty slow speed through the straightaways, which is telling me he is trying to save that fuel. I know he had a little bit of damage, but I don't think he has the speed posted to make it. So we'll have to kind of see how he takes off the rest of the laps, which is about 35 or so remaining here tonight. But right now he's already lost 2 seconds to Mark Brannigan Jr. in the past 5 laps. So when that being said, he will fall to the 88 if he continues his current pace.
Hear it in the chats right now from our ear. Our producer Dustin does say Brian Dublé does have another set of tires in the pits. So if we do get a yellow here, Jeremy, this is huge. He has leapfrogged the entire field, and but the thing is that he's going to need a caution, and he's going to need it now because these guys are looking at the lap times right now. They are almost about 2 seconds faster than him. So if you think about it, they're gaining on him about 2 seconds a lap, a second and a half. I mean, just with the speed difference in the corner, how fresh the tires are on those guys up at the front. And another thing, too, to point out, if this race just so happens to go green all the way to the end, Mark Brannigan Jr., yes, he's been strong all night, but we have seen Austin Gassione prevail on the longer runs. He is right there, right in the clutches is Mark Brannigan Jr. of Austin Gassione, and that gap has been flirting between about 5.5 tenths to about 4.5 tenths. So maybe Gassione with the draft wake, yeah, he's got dirty air, but that draft is going to play huge dividends for him, especially Richie Coy, who's sitting right now in 4th. We saw him nearly lose it off the corner of turn 4 just a handful of laps ago. So this is still anybody's race here as we're approaching lap 158 here.
32 laps to go this time, 31 at the line. You're looking at right now Mark Brannigan Jr. in the 88, putting a decent amount of gap over his teammate, the 99, and the 16 is kind of falling back 3 seconds further than their teammates there. Great job from Jamie Knopp as well, currently running in 8th place. Hell of a job. And then, speaking of hell of a job, the 22 right in front of him, Robert Malikian, he's in 7th place. He started 26th, so this guy, highest mover to the field, 19 spots earned from this 22 machine. So it just tells you he had a bad qualifying time because that car is much faster than what that time had posted.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I believe I was trying to before something happened. I mean, you never know. We just talked about it before. The Fury Motorsports guys have not been there recently over the past few weeks, ever since the start of Season B. Jeff Chandler comes out. You said he put over, 700 laps in at Charlotte? Jeff Chandler goes on and dominates the friggin' race. I mean, dominates the race. And then that was a big statement over there at RPM. And then they could have almost, shoulda, coulda, woulda won Gateway had Jeff had not gotten involved in a wreck. And obviously Richie was just so fast. But just what if Jeff didn't get involved in that wreck? He could have been a big what if moment. So far, my biggest what if of the season was if Jeff Chandler didn't wreck, maybe he would be in a closer scenario with Richie Coy in the points. But I mean, these guys over at ESM, they found something out. The guys over at RPM, they found something out to compete with Fury Motorsports, which has been like the Hendrick Motorsports here of the FTSR. So it's just interesting to see. And I mean, you never know. A guy like Robert Malikian, he might be able to do something here. He's been really, really strong towards the tail end of Season A, and he sure as hell has been really, really fast in Season B.
New leader right there. Mark Brannigan does pass the 37 Dublé. So power has shifted. I'm actually watching Austin Gassion. His times are a little bit better than his teammate there. So long run here. Who's got it? Will there be a first repeat winner of 2023B being of the 80 to Brannigan? Or Austin Gassion might get his first win here at FTSR as we are now under 30 laps to go in this Nashville 250.
Yeah, with just under 30 laps to go, you got to think to yourself, like I said beforehand, Jeremy, Austin Gassion faster on that longer run right now. We've put almost 20 laps up on the board with these tires. These two both pitted on lap 146. Richie Coy, lap 142. Daniel Simmons, lap 147. And obviously Brian Dublé struggling, hoping for a yellow flag to go in and take that last set of Goodyear Eagles that he's got. Doing a solid job, kind of just hanging in there right now. But it's just not going to be enough unless he gets that yellow. But Gassion, he is slowly closing in on his teammate. I think, Jeremy, that Gassion is going to get there. And I think Austin's going to be able to get past Mark right now. But the 99, the 88, these guys are putting on one heck of a show here as they enter in 3. The 88 gets a little bit higher off the corner, off 4. This is going to provide the 99 with a huge run down the front straightaway.
Quick mention, the 23 of Brody Hanna got loose off of turn 2 last lap and hit the wall really hard. Had to make a pit stop to get that thing repaired. So that's basically going to take him out of any type of contention. But still focusing on these two guys. Minus these two guys, the next guy back is Richie Coy, 3rd place. He's 2 seconds back, and he's under fire right now, still by the 0.6 of Daniel Simmons. And then you got 2 more seconds before you find the next person in line, 6th place, Jamie Knopp. So with Connor LaFrance as well behind him. So just a subtle group of 2 cars really battling for positions well within this top 10 here. 15 guys currently left on the lead lap out of this 31 car lineup, so half the field is 1 lap or more down. So it just kind of shows you how tricky this track can be, being a little bit flatter on the surface, a little bit shorter on distance. So definitely see the iRacing iFlag track map there on your top left hand side of your screen. Minus turn 1 and turn 2, there's cars all over the place on this thing.
Everybody's all over the place, and this provides maybe a late race yellow with everybody being everywhere. But here's the thing, though, Jeremy, the thing that could knock down or debunk my theory and maybe my commentator's curse is everybody being all over the place. But, tires wear out. Everybody's on different lap strategies. You never know. That's the great thing about racing is you never know. Mark Brannigan Jr. could get loose and hit the wall right now if he wanted to. Jeff Chandler could all of a sudden, pull something out of a hat and somehow win this race from 8th place. And Jeff's been so fast tonight. Really everybody, honestly, looking inside this top 10 to top 8 drivers, all these guys have really had chances to win here tonight. The only 2 who've really stuck out the most have been Brannigan and Gassion. I mean, they have been the class of the field. Richie Coy's led a little bit. Jamie Knopf has been right there. Connor LaFrance, Jeff Chandler. Just looking at everybody else, too. I mean, there's guys who were probably wrecked out of this race who probably could have had something. Brandon Elder, Tony Solari, Wayne Grossi. I mean, everybody here tonight, this has probably been one of, if not the most competitive race, I would say, all season long so far.
Yeah, it's been an excellent race for sure. I know it's kind of spaced out now, but that the beginning half of this race was it was a lot of action, a lot of fun. We got 3 wide for the race lead, 3 wide basically, probably 5 different points in this race. And it's all come down to teammates 1 and 2 right now, as we got 20 laps to go in this event, and the times are just under 30 seconds a lap, right? So, as we laps kick down, I honestly feel like the 99 is saving a little bit there, Jason. I think within 10 laps to go, we're going to see this 99 really just put the pressure on this 88.
No, he got a little bit loose entering turn 3. I noticed right there, right when he got to the yellow line entering 3. I'm noticing the 88 is backing up his corners a little bit more than Gassion, and that's really what's been able to make Mark just kind of drive off the corners. I mean, Austin's still right there, but watch entering turn 3. You're going to see the 88 backs up his corner a little bit more. You saw that little jolt. 99's able to close in a little bit, but I think that Gassion really, honestly, I think he's just driving it in a little bit too hard, and this might be able to make Mark Brannigan Jr. be able to win this race just because his teammate is driving it in a little bit too hard. And you could just see that he's just so much better at getting down to the yellow line and off exit than Austin. I think if Austin wants to get this lead here from his buddy and teammate in the 88 machine, I think he's going to have to back up his corners a little bit, let the car rotate a little bit better, and just really follow the 88's, tracks, because you really can't do anything. You can't go to the middle. You can't go to the top. It's too late in this race. He's got to hope for lap traffic to be a factor and for the 88 to not hit his marks. Yeah,
100% there. And I'd love to give a quick shout out to our Nerd Swag lineup here from the Nerditudes. We got shirts, gloves, water bottles, mouse pads, and plethora of items still to come to be listed on the shop. So if you're kind of wanting to support the nerds here, head over to nerditudes.gg. There on the top left, you can click the Nerd Swag link right next to the logo, and just check out what we got. Or find the complete apparel lineup at martinsports.gg, because they help supply the gloves and the shirts. As you see, if you go to the site, you'll see the Martin Sports exclusive logo on there. So just kind of double shout out there. But yeah, if you want to support us, you got Super Nerd to check out for 25% off when you do shop, because that is connected to martinsports.gg. And right now, 16 laps to go in this event. Pressure's still on for the race lead, and they've already caught the 37 to Dublé once again here. I don't know if he's came in for his pit stop, but they have rounded back up the 37 right in front of him. And we talked about that about 20 laps ago, right?
Yeah, the 37 did come in for his stop, I believe. I believe the tires are just a little bit cold right now. Looking at the stops, yes, he did pit. So Brian Dublé finally gave in, finally pitted on lap 170. So this is going to be a big factor for Mark Brannigan Jr. He's been so used to having clean air, a couple lap cars here and there, but he's got Brody Hanna, who's on fresher tires, but also has damage. And he's also got Brian Dublé, who just pitted. So this could be what Austin Gassion needs, but it's also what he doesn't need as well, because it's just more dirty air created on the nose and on the rear spoiler of Gassion. And we're under 15 laps to go, man. Mark Brannigan Jr. has been just a little bit faster than his buddy here. You can see him right there off the exit of turn number 4, a little bit better. Actually gains about an entire 10th just through turn 4. I mean, this race, though, still anybody's. I just don't know if Gassion's got what it takes to get around the 88 National Guard Camaro.
It's going to be a tough pass for sure. We've seen these teammates all night long race each other like they're not teammates, putting on blocks and whatnot. So not afraid to duke it out. So I'm really looking forward, if the 99 can get to him, what he can possibly do, go low or high, to try to pass his teammate Mark Brannigan, who is trying to win back-to-back and be the first repeat winner of 2023B.
Yeah, and I mean, he very well could be the first back-to-back winner, and also could be the guy who makes a huge statement telling these guys over at Fury Motorsports, hey, man, we're over here at Eastern Stars Motorsports. We're here to make a statement. We're here to make not only just a statement, we're here to make a big statement, put a big footprint in the FTSR. And sure enough, they've done that over the last week, 2 weeks now. And I mean, this has just been such a good race, been a lot of great battles, a lot of good storylines. I mean, the fact that we're not talking about Fury Motorsports up at the front of the field is absolutely crazy. Usually Richie Coy, Brody Hanna carry that banner. Tony Solari somehow, some way, always finds a way to try and get up there and somehow finishes. I mean, he did it back on Wednesday, was in mid to back to pack all race long, somehow came home at third. And he told us he didn't know how the hell he did it, but he did it. And I mean, this has just been such an interesting race, comers and goers. Absolutely have loved this race. Definitely one of my favorites. And whoa, big moment for Jamie Knopp there off turn number 4. Got really loose, tried to pull the crossover on Coy. He's going to do it. But, man, he almost lost it there, Jeremy, off turn number 4.
Yeah, again, I think it just kind of shifted up the track a little too fast, and that track is not really forgiving. And thankfully, he's able to collect it, but now he's got to get right back to it, try to get around one of the best guys on this circuit here, being Richie Coy. This is battle for 4th place right now, so still within the top 5, but no pressure behind him. So he can go in the attack mode. He doesn't have to worry about losing the position as long as he doesn't wreck it, right? So he's just going to figure out where he's going to beat the 19 Richie Coy machine as we're on lap 180. So we're going to be 8 laps to go coming to the line this time. So not much time left. He does take a look at the inside as Richie Coy does not get a good strong exit off 2.
Yeah, he almost got into the rear bumper of Coy there on off turn number 2. These guys are putting on one heck of a show side by side, giving each other the respect they have, the respect they need and want. Jamie Knopp, though, he is struggling to get around the 19 of Richie Coy. And obviously, Richie, one of the best guys in the field, undoubtedly, arguably, probably the best driver we've seen here in the FTSR series here over the last 2 to 3 seasons now. I mean, he's been so fast, but it's just not been his night. He's fought for the lead, but he is just not there like these ESM boys have been tonight. Jamie Knopp, man, what a run for him. Started in 5th, only sitting in 4th right now, but to say that you're starting pretty much and finishing right where you started, I mean, that's a good run, I'd say. That's a really solid run. Sure, you wanted to gain more spots, but finishing 4th here tonight, if he can hang on to it, that would be a big thing for him. But Mark Brannigan Jr. pulling away from Austin Gassione there. Last time around, he was faster than him by almost a whole 10th, about 0.08 of a second. I think, though, if Austin's going to want to try to capture this victory, he's going to need a yellow flag here, Jeremy, which we did see some overtime on Wednesday. He might just see it here tonight, possibly, but I just don't know.
I mean, it's still up for grabs if you're trying to. You look like you're trying to curse us about 40 laps to go, 50 laps to go, saying there's going to be a late race caution based off of stats, which, if you go by the stats and they are correct, typically they do fall in favor. But right now, there's just a lot of cars spaced out on this track, so it's going to take up a random hiccup for someone to really bring this thing down to an overtime situation. But that gap between 1st and 2nd place has grown to 0.7 of a second. So Austin has finally lost his car, not able to compete and keep up with his teammate Mark Brannigan. So we got 5 laps to go before we're going to see our first-time winner if we stay green.
And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, Mark, a couple weeks ago, back at Sonoma, and Brannigan just hit the wall there, I believe, off turn number 4. That's huge right there. Talk about a mistake right here, Jeremy. This could be the mistake that puts Austin Gassione in position to try to win this race, though. The gap has went down all the way to almost 0.4 of a second. It has now grown, so maybe Gassione, something of a miss heading into 1 and 2. Not enough. He's trying everything that he can do. But Mark Brannigan Jr. trying to go back-to-back, trying everything he can do to just hang on here for the next 3 laps against his teammate.
Didn't really affect his car. He's actually slightly faster than the 99 that lap alone, but go from talking about him winning this race to all of a sudden hitting the wall. I mean, I didn't want to try to curse him, but apparently that almost happened there. But thankfully able to keep that pace going. He's coming to the line this time for 2 laps to go to close out this 250 miler here at Nashville. No pressure behind, no real pressure in front. Just got to keep the car clean for 2 more laps around this circuit, and the race is yours.
And with 2 laps to go, this opens the door, maybe a yellow, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. I think Mark Brannigan Jr.'s got this thing locked up here as we're looking at everybody shuffling through the field right before they come back to the white flag. You see Williford, you see Josh Johnson, a bunch of other drivers here as the 88 slowly is coming around the track, coming to the line this time by. And Mark Brannigan Jr., if he could just hang on to it for 4 more corners, he's going to go back-to-back in the FTSR Mach-1 Performance Cup Series, holding off his teammate here, Jeremy. Half a lap to go for the number 88 National Guard Camaro.
White flag, 1 to go, sponsored by nobody. And here he comes, the 88 through 3 and 4 for the final time this evening. Still has a 0.6 of a second lead over his teammate Austin Gassion, who has nothing for Mark Brannigan. Back-to-back checkered flags for the 88. Mr. Brannigan Jr., first-time repeat winner. That is your Martin Sports winning moment.
Run. What a statement for the guys over at Eastern Stars Motorsports here tonight. Mark Brannigan Jr., Austin Gassion, Connor LaFrance comes back for a 6th-place finish after being just on the edge of the top 10. They did a hell of a job here tonight. They have put a staple, and I think this is probably, to say the least here, Jeremy, this is probably the biggest statement win compared to Sonoma, because remember, we don't go to road courses every week, like we did to Sonoma here a couple weeks ago. See a little bit of appreciation there from Austin to his teammates saying, hey, buddy, you got the best of us tonight. Good job. What a job, though, by Mark Brannigan Jr., and I love seeing that 88 machine go back to victory lane. That's one of my favorite junior schemes, and I love that I have that scheme, the Daytona 500 diecast. Absolutely love that scheme. Good job by Mark Brannigan Jr. here tonight. Junebug, we should call him.
What if I told you the 88 ran out of fuel as he crossed the start-finish line, and that's why he's not burning out? He said as he came across the line, quote, I'm out of fuel. And so now his teammates are doing a train here for him to get him back to where he needs to go. 88 dry on the fuel tank. That's
got
so
fuel burn it down, though. How the hell does that work?
He got to the line, and that was it. So they're just bumping around like his car broke down. It ain't fired up. It's all dead. They got him right to the start-finish line, yeah.
Yeah, it's like an NBC interview right there. They had to push it right in front of the start-finish line. Well, I mean, hey, Dale Jr. got to win his first win for Hendrick Motorsports back in 2008 at Michigan for the LifeLock 400. He was running out of fuel coming across the line. And sure enough, Mark Brannigan Jr., I'm just going to call him Junebug. I'm making up names for everybody. I call Bobby Terrell Concrete Cobby. And I think Mark Brannigan Jr. has probably over the last few weeks now earned the title of Junebug.
It's a very nerdy thing for you to do that. We do that
I'm a nerd
here. So,
absolutely. I'm the NASCAR nerd here.
There we go. So, with that being said, we don't have the fancy drones that go around the cars that win the race. So, we're going to bring this to the unofficial results page. Go over the 31 car lineup here for the Nashville 250. Mark Brannigan Jr., P1. Austin Gassion, his teammate, P2. Daniel Simmons rounds out in 3rd place. Jamie Knott in 4th. Richie Coy 5th. Connor LaFrance 6th. Robert Maliki in 7th. Jeff Chandler 8th. Sherwood Williford 9th. And tonight's top 10 guy, Joshua Johnson.
Tonight, James Wallace, very, very solid run for him tonight, plus 16 from where he started, finishes 11th. Colton Gumm, nice rebound, finishes 12th. Lewis Meglin finishes 13th tonight. James Torrey, first car, a lap down. He'll come home 14th. Rob Tracy, a little bit of drama for him here tonight, plus 10. He'll come home inside the top 15. Alan Crowell finishes 16th tonight. Brian Dublé, despite the late pit strategy, he'll come home with a top 20 17th. Brody Hanna, heartbreaker again for the Fury Motorsports driver, 18th. Chris Beck, 19th. And Lane Allen coming home in the 20th position.
21st, Chad Lane. 22nd will be Stephen Hollingsworth. 23rd, Ryan Chapman. 24th, Ryan Hedrick. 25th, Michael Blackner. 26th, TJ Bartell. 27th, Wayne Grossi. 28th place belongs to Brandon Elder. 29th, Tony Solari. 30th, Troy Torgerson. And last place, the number 42, Kyle Milliken. And this is our time to go to one more full screen commercial break. We're going to gather up our top 3 and get a word with them, get their final take on the Nashville 250. Be back with you guys after a few messages. And welcome to the Martin Sports post-race show. We're going to bring in tonight's top 3 guys and get a word with them on their final thoughts of the Nashville 250. First and foremost, we got some new guys, some new faces to bring in. First and foremost, the number 06 of Daniel Simmons. Daniel, this is Jeremy, the Nerd TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, welcome aboard. It's the first time I've seen you here, and you find yourself in podium P3, so congratulations on that overall. Good way to start off here, and walk us through your night. We had 6 different cautions, wrecks of big, small, everything in between. Just give us your final thoughts here tonight.
It's pretty good. We knew coming into the deal we kind of had long run cars. I thought we kind of made a bad pit call whenever those, I don't know, 5 or 6 guys was able to come in and get tires or towards the end. But Egg was able to kind of stay with them long run and actually pull back by them. I thought maybe I needed to pit before they did, and the time I thought it, they pitted. So we come back out of the pits. We just kind of had to push too hard to try to get to them, and tires never really come in, just chewed the right front off. So just needed a little longer green flag run. I think we'd been all right.
Yeah, Daniel, great job tonight finishing on the podium P3 here tonight. Man, you guys over at LA Motorsports tonight, you guys really all had pretty solid runs. I know Rob finished top 15, obviously got involved in a little bit of, I think, some hot water earlier on. And obviously, Jamie, he was really fast tonight also as well, man. How does this stack up for you guys over at LA Motorsports, knowing you guys were so fast tonight, competitive with the ESM guys, the Fury Motorsport guys, and RPM?
It was pretty good. That's what we kind of talked about. It was like, heck, top 5. I think Rob, he battled back there a little bit, maybe got a top 15. But I mean, it's pretty good. We kind of started focusing on this car the beginning of this week and kind of said, hey, let's kind of run that series there. And, so I think the more we get to work on this car and go to different tracks, I think we can maybe figure something out with it.
Yeah, absolutely, and I believe that would be the case. You guys had a great performance here tonight, and hopefully that continued successful run with you all the way through 2023 and more. So the floor is yours, man. Final thoughts before we let you go tonight.
Man, I just got to thank Rob and Jamie for kind of putting in the work there and kind of getting the setup that kind of worked out pretty good. Heck, man, just happy to be here. Can't wait to run a few more races with you guys.
Can't wait to watch you guys as well. So good luck the rest of the way, man, and have a good rest of your night.
Y'all too. Thank you.
Thank you. There's Daniel Simmons there, the number 6 or 06 East LA Esports machine. And now it's time to bring in one of 2 from ESM, Mr. Austin Gassion, Rogue Energy Chevrolet Camaro. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, what a hell of a team effort. You guys just topping the podiums for a good chunk of that race. 1, 2, 3. You guys had a mid-race pit stop that puts you 16th, 17th, 18th. And then I think within, 50 laps, you found yourself back 1, 2, 3. So just walk us through the preparation you guys did tonight and how you're able to dial on that setup so well for all 3 of you.
Well, we ran A Open this week. I've always been a fan of this track. My other teammates have been. They have had the speed here, but they weren't a fan until we started dialing on the setup. I mean, it's hard in A Opens when the track's all different and randomized, but I mean, you always dial in on a certain setup, and whenever, depending on the track conditions, you could always change it here and there. And one of the hardest parts too about iRacing is how it goes from night and day, and it's realistic like that. So you got to have a car that's good in the day and the night. So uh, about the whole setup, I mean, it was a group effort. We all put an input in, and I mean, it showed this race that we all had a hot rod. It sucks Connor finished P6, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a good team day.
Austin, you guys over at ESM had a hell of a night, just like Jeremy said, and we were talking about it. You guys were competing with Fury and RPM, and you guys were pretty much the friggin' class of the field, man. I mean, right there at the end, I thought you were going to get to Mark, but come to the end, it looks like I don't know if you were just slip and sliding. What more could you have done to try to get to Mark? Because both of you guys were so equal with 20 laps to go. I was telling Jeremy, I was like, I just don't know who's going to get this.
Yeah, I mean, me and Mark have been neck and neck all week. We have always, it doesn't matter what we race, we're always right there. I mean, when we came out of pit road, I was right on his bumper, and that's where I went wrong. It was just the dirty air of uh, wearing my tires off. I went through my head of to back off and to probably leave a gap of half a second to get somewhat clean air because I knew how good clean air is, especially with this car and the tire model. But that's basically where it went wrong. I didn't know if the '06 was going to catch us because they were really fast in long runs. But I mean, it sucks. P2, you always want to win, but at the end of the day, we get a 1-2, and that's what matters is the team standings.
Yeah, I have no doubt you'll find yourself a checkered flag here before this season section is over. Continue to run the way you guys are, but the floor is yours. Who would you like to thank before we let you go this evening?
I want to give a shout out to my teammates Mark Brannigan and Connor LaFrance. They on the track, they showed on all the work we put in throughout the week. I'm gonna give a shout out to my sponsors: Rogue Energy, W, 213 Simware. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Leland watching. I know he's been cheering us on. And shout out to you guys for putting on a really good show. It's always fun to watch week in and week out. No, it doesn't matter if it's the truck or the cups, but just and thank you to the league admins for putting on such a good league. I mean, it's always fun, and I always look forward to racing these leagues. And yeah, that's about it.
Hey man, appreciate all the kind words for sure, and go and celebrate. That's a great team effort coming home P2 tonight for you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And that was Austin Gastillon, driver of the Chevrolet Camaro Rogue Energy Machine. And now it's time to load up the Mach-1 Performance Victory Lane as we're going to bring in the number 88 National Guard Chevrolet Camaro. Mark Brannigan Jr., congratulations on back-to-back victories.
Yeah, thank you. That one was a lot tougher than Sonoma. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm sure that was more of a physical battle for you for sure. Class of the field early on, and then Austin, your teammate, put heavy pressure on you early. At one point, you slipped back a little bit, and then the pit stop. I kind of heard from Austin how the preparation was for tonight, so I'm kind of curious about how that pit call happened around like lap 90 or 100, right around there, where you guys took the tires and nobody else did. You dropped back to 16th, 17th, 18th, and I was thinking, man, this thing's almost done. And then you guys almost got involved in a couple of wrecks, but fortunately able to make it back to the field. And you found yourselves 1, 2, and 3 again after that. So just what was that call like in team communications, and then how are you to proceed forward back to the field?
The caution before that, most of the field pit already, and we weren't sure if we wanted to. And when we decided it was too late, everyone else pit. So we just thought we would pit the next caution and gained a few spots. Caution came out a couple times, got back up to the front. I believe it was Daniel who had a really fast car on the longer runs, and he ran us back down past us, and that led to our next pit stop, which we got back out in front of everyone and went from there.
Mark, you have officially earned the title of Junebug, according to me, buddy, because you ran out of gas right there at the line. Supposedly, according to Jeremy and Dustin, you ran out of gas. That's why you couldn't burn it down. I just thought that was hilarious, since that's how Dale Jr. got his first win over at HMS. But hey, you guys over at Eastern Stars Motorsports, man, you guys put on a hell of a run tonight. We've been talking about the last few weeks, me and Jeremy, is if anybody can get to Fury Motorsports with Brody Hanna, Richie Coy, Tony Solari, Michael Blackner. And sure enough, we think we found the two biggest candidates. It's RPM and you guys, man. What have you guys been doing to try to catch up to Fury Motorsports? Because you guys were 1, 2, 3 at a point here tonight. You guys probably should have finished 1, 2, 3 had it not been for strategy and cautions.
Yeah, we put in a lot of preparation this week. Before this week, I was not a big fan of this track. We ran a lot of races, tuned the setup, and we came in here with some hot rods. It was good early on, qualifying wise. Fell back a little bit, and it all ended up the same. Me, Austin won 2. Connor got a top 10, so I don't think it could really go better than that.
Yeah, that's excellent for a team effort there. Just a dominant performance. And you guys have continued. You've been 4 races into this league so far for you guys, and you're just getting better and better and better. And now you're running up front clearly all day, at least here at Nashville. So just congratulations not only on the victory, but the team effort. And it's really showcasing its efforts here, especially tonight. So, but the floor is yours. Who would you like to thank before we let you go this evening?
Yeah. I would like to thank our sponsors, 213 Simware, Butt Kicker, Rogue Energy, my teammates, of course. Austin kept me in check that whole last 40-something lap run. Connor, of course, the PR guy. You guys for broadcasting, league admins and owners. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Appreciate all the kind words there, and go and celebrate with the team. Awesome job. We'll catch you guys next Monday.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. That was Mark Brannigan, Jr., driver of the number 88 machine. And Jason, what a race. Cautions, 6 of them, a little bit more than the average here at FTSR. The racing, we saw several 3 wide. Very reminiscent of what we saw yesterday in the real world stuff. So I personally, driver-wise, not a fan of this track. But as a someone who's broadcasting this race and just watching in general, it's a hell of a race.
Yeah, this has become one of the tracks that, like I talked about earlier in the broadcast. 2021 came about, iRacing. Drivers friggin' hated this track. I hated this track. Cars drove like crap. You couldn't do anything. And I mean, that was the Gen 6. But even with the trucks, and obviously things have changed. iRacing has changed over the last 2 years. There's always updates going into these things. Tire model, damage model, physics, track conditions, whatever it may be. This track, for some reason, in both real life and iRacing, has provided some great damn racing over the last 2 years. We saw Sunday night's Cup race, amazing. Xfinity Series race Saturday, awesome. Truck race, awesome. Tonight, awesome. Wednesday night for me and Dustin, chaotic, but awesome. This track has just provided such good racing. And I don't know if it's just because of how awkward it is, the fact that it's like a 1.5 mile Dover with flatter banking than your usual tri-oval 1.5 miles. And it's not even 1.5 miles is this thing. It's 1.333 miles long. So it's not even 1.5 miles yet. It's like a little bit over 1.25 miles. But what a statement for ESM here tonight. And now we go to one of the tracks where we've all wanted to see come back recently, Chicagoland Speedway. I mean, that track is going to provide some really damn good racing. I am yet to see any official, any fun, any league racing at Chicagoland. I have no idea what it's going to provide for the next gen cars for Mach-1. Yeah. But I've my favorite track on iRacing has been Chicago. I've won multiple races there and official stuff over in the trucks. So if there's anybody who knows how to get around Chicagoland, I would say it's definitely me. I'm not the fastest, but I love that track. It's near and dear to my heart on iRacing. I expect a really, really good race next week, and I expect ESM to bring even faster cars than what they did here tonight.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of Nashville, too, I did see some renders this week from the track owner of Nashville Fairgrounds getting a complete overhaul as far as the grandstands and track layout. So something to be looking forward to. Maybe we'll go to a different Nashville track here in the next year or two. But Dustin, I see you're on camera. How was your night tonight? Jason kept you in check through all night long.
Yeah, you both did. The drivers did. I tell you what, it was a Nashville race. I mean, it's exactly what we'd expect from Nashville after watching the Martin Sports Truck Series. These guys put on a hell of a show. I mean, the 3-wide race, and I mean, sometimes the 3-wide kind of jumped up and bit people, but man, when they did it, they did it in style. I mean, they put on a hell of a show tonight. Had some excellent saves, some drama added into it, some strategy. Man, I mean, you had the trifecta there, and it was a good race all the way around. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, 100% there for sure. Awesome job, by the way, keeping up with everything. Jason, I think he's making you put some overtime work into that thing.
He is.
I did. I did, man. Him. I wanted everything. I was like, drone shot. I want overhead. I want this. I want that. I was calling the shots for Dustin tonight, but we had everything tonight.
You were lead producer there on top of
I was the pro producer.
There you go. But that's going to close it out, guys, here tonight. My voice is almost shot completely at this point, so I'm going to rail off the our sponsors one last time. They're going to pop up on your right-hand side of your screen. Just a quick shout-out to the league, Full Throttle Sim Racing. Be a part of the action Monday, Wednesdays. They got it going on, and you guys see it each and every time. It's awesome. So that's FTSR.net. Mach-1 Performance Fabrication Shop that's produced winners and champions from their shop. So if they're in your area, visit facebook.com/Mach-1 Performance. Sim Racing Points. It's a really cool point system, and you can check out their product either on simracingpoints.com or head over to FTSR.net. They have everything that Sim Racing Points has to offer implemented in their website. Martin Sports, we already shout them out, but I'd love to do it again. MartinSports.gg, top apparel or quality apparel to make you look stylish. See Dustin's pointing at his hat there. You see the shirts that we're wearing. It's all Martin Sports over here. So we love their stuff, and you guys will too. iRacing iFlag. That unit just completes your sim rig, gives you all the flag notifications you'll ever need, and a really bright lit LED system. 3D printed, custom ordered, and they got different versions of it. So head over to iRacingIFlag.com. Butt Kicker, the ultimate feel from the sim rig that comes from all the bumps and feels that you feel on the track. You're going to feel directly in the seat that you're sitting in. And head over to thebuttkicker.com to check out their products. Team Watson Racing Setup, quality professional built setups for all your asphalt tracks that you'll ever need. Head over to teamwatsonracing.com. And lastly, Roasted Gems Coffee. Start your day the right way with coffee from Roasted Gems. All right, guys, we're out of here until Wednesday. We're going to see the trucks get it. Until then, you guys stay safe. Get your nerd on.